Chapter 51-27. Lin Feng entered the well. He dove all the way down. This well was very deep. It emitted a sinister and terrifying aura. What surprised Lin Feng was that there was no well water in this well. There was only demonic aura that filled the well. After entering the well, Lin Feng was extremely careful, because this was the female ghost immortal's territory, so he had to be careful. Or else, that would be too dangerous. If he was the slightest bit careless, he could die here. The female ghost immortal was an extremely terrifying existence. She was not a character that could be easily manipulated. After diving for about 2 hours, Lin Feng was still unable to dive to the deepest part. Lin Feng could not help but be speechless. Wasn't this well too deep? Where was the bottom? Lin Feng could only patiently continue to dive down. About another hour or so passed. Lin Feng saw a black light barrier appear below. He revealed a hint of joy. It seemed he had finally reached the bottom. Lin Feng entered the black light barrier. As soon as he entered, before he could clearly see his surroundings, a cold voice sounded. "Since you want to die, then I can fulfill your wish." This was the female ghost immortal's voice. The female ghost immortal naturally knew that Lin Feng had chased after her all the way here. So, when Lin Feng came down, the female ghost immortal immediately activated the powerful restriction here. After all kinds of great formations were activated, Lin Feng was instantly sent flying by those great formations. However, before he was sent flying, Lin Feng had already activated the ruler's armor. In addition, Lin Feng had used the technique of magic immunity. So, 80% of the power was successfully neutralized by Lin Feng. Only 20% of the power was left on Lin Feng's body. However, that 20% of the power was also successfully neutralized by Lin Feng's incomparably powerful body. At this moment, Lin Feng could finally observe the situation around him. He discovered this was a world shrouded in darkness, emitting an eerie and terrifying aura. In the world of darkness, there were terrifying restrictions everywhere. The female ghost immortal stood not far away and looked at him coldly. "The last thing you should have done was to chase me all the way here. Now that you've chased me all the way here, you won't be able to escape even if you have wings." The female ghost immortal looked coldly at Lin Feng. Lin Feng said, "She's so beautiful and charming, but why is her temper so bad? Can we talk peacefully? Hee, you came here to kill me, and you want me to talk calmly? You're really shameless." The female ghost immortal sneered. Lin Feng said, "Don't make it sound so bad. I'm not trying to kill you. I'm just trying to guide you onto the right path." The female ghost couldn't help but roll her eyes after hearing Lin Feng. It was true. He was shameless. Invincible in the world. "Go to hell!" The female ghost immortal shouted coldly. She continued to activate the various powerful restrictions around her to attack Lin Feng. The power of those restrictions was indeed terrifying. When those restrictions were activated by Lin Feng, a terrifying wave of energy immediately filled the air. Very quickly, those restrictions began to attack Lin Feng. All kinds of terrifying attacks bombarded Lin Feng. When he first came down, Lin Feng was caught off guard, so he wasn't able to dodge the attacks. But now, it was different. Lin Feng was able to observe everything around him, and he had enough time to react. Therefore, when Lin Feng faced those restrictions again, he was able to handle them with ease. Lin Feng's inheritance of the Celestial Master Tao was displayed to the extreme at this moment. Lin Feng quickly shuttled through the powerful restrictions, successfully dodging all the attacks. It was true. Powerful methods. He was quickly approaching the female ghost immortal. When she saw Lin Feng quickly approaching her, the female ghost immortal's face couldn't help but become incomparably ugly. She originally thought that with the restrictions here, it wouldn't be a problem to kill Lin Feng. But who would have thought that Lin Feng was actually able to freely shuttle through the various restrictions? What kind of method was this? It was really shocking. And the female ghost immortal was quite vexed. "Let's go." Seeing that Lin Feng was about to reach here, the female ghost immortal didn't dare to hesitate. She turned around and ran, because the female ghost immortal knew. If this continued, she would be caught by Lin Feng, so she could only take advantage of this opportunity to escape. By the time Lin Feng arrived next to him, it was already too late to escape. However, the female ghost immortal still underestimated Lin Feng's ability. The moment she escaped, Lin Feng had already rushed out of the restrictions. Then, Lin Feng used the 8 directions world and quickly chased after the female ghost immortal. Lin Feng's speed was simply too fast. He quickly caught up to the female ghost immortal. Lin Feng took out the bell of hell. Under Lin Feng's control, the bell of hell quickly grew larger and then crashed towards the female ghost immortal. Facing the attack of the bell of hell, the female ghost immortal didn't dare to be careless. She quickly dodged the attack of the bell of hell. The female ghost immortal's ability was extraordinary. She successfully dodged the attack of the bell of hell. But at this time, Lin Feng used his 12-fold domineering magnetic field. The 12-fold domineering magnetic field directly enveloped the female ghost immortal and then suppressed her. After the female ghost immortal was enveloped by Lin Feng's 12-fold domineering magnetic field, she was instantly sent flying. Her battle strength was reduced by at least 50%. The moment the female ghost immortal was sent flying, Lin Feng had already arrived beside her. Then, he sent a palm strike towards the female ghost immortal. The female ghost immortal hurriedly exchanged a palm strike with Lin Feng. The female ghost immortal felt as if she was struck by lightning. Her body flew backwards. Her magic power became incomparably chaotic. Her injuries were not light. Lin Feng immediately sent out numerous runes. Those were the runes condensed by Lin Feng's 8 God-forbidden seals. They were very powerful. Those runes imprinted on the female ghost immortal's body and immediately sealed her. "Let me go!" The female ghost immortal struggled. But she couldn't break free. She was now Lin Feng's prisoner. Lin Feng heaved a sigh of relief. He finally suppressed the female ghost immortal. Fortunately, the female ghost immortal couldn't use the divine god flag for a long time. If she could use that magic treasure for a long time, it wouldn't be realistic to suppress the female ghost immortal. Lin Feng arrived in front of the female ghost immortal. Then, he stretched out his hand and touched the female ghost immortal's scarily smooth face. This face was really smooth. She didn't look like a female ghost at all. However, the female ghost immortal's life level was very high. She was indeed different from ordinary female ghosts. "Be obedient and be my slave. I won't mistreat you." Lin Feng pinched the female ghost immortal's chin and said, looking at this face up close. Chapter 51-28. Lin Feng thought of many words to describe the celestial ghost's beauty. She was beautiful enough to cause the downfall of a city or a moon. She was worthy of any description. Female ghost immortal. She was so beautiful, so moving. "Just kill me," said Lin Feng. The female ghost immortal said. Lin Feng said, "Didn't you just say that you are an undying existence? I don't think I can kill you." The female ghost immortal rolled her eyes. She felt that Lin Feng must have done it on purpose. This was because cultivators like to boast about their abilities. In this world, how could there be an immortal in the true sense? Even the undead creatures of the underworld could be revived if they were killed. In fact, as long as one found the right method, they could also be killed. Therefore, the female ghost immortal did not pay attention to Lin Feng. This was because she felt that Lin Feng was both shameless and despicable. "You actually dare to ignore me. Do you believe that I won't let you see me naked right now?" Lin Feng said with a smile, his right hand on the belt of the female ghost immortal's clothes. He had to undress the female ghost immortal at any time. This scared the hell out of the female ghost immortal. "You're shameless." The female ghost immortal looked at Lin Feng angrily. "Thank you for the compliment," Lin Feng said. "You're shameless." The female ghost immortal continued to scold. "That's one of my strengths," Lin Feng continued. The female ghost immortal was speechless as she looked at the man in front of her. This guy could turn a weakness into a strength. How could his skin be so thick? Whether it was in her previous life or this life, the female ghost immortal had never seen such a shameless person. Lin Feng said with a smile. Next, you will answer whatever I ask you. You won't reject me anymore, right? Of course, the female ghost immortal didn't want to bother with Lin Feng. However, she was really worried that this shameless guy, Lin Feng, would do something excessive to her. Right now, the female ghost immortal's level of life was already very high. Coupled with the fact that she had condensed a new body of flesh and blood, she was no different from a normal cultivator. The only difference was that she did not have a shadow. But that didn't affect anything. The female ghost immortal also knew how charming she was. Therefore, she was really worried that Lin Feng would eat her clean. She felt that Lin Feng was someone who could do such a thing. The female ghost immortal also valued her chastity very much. All right. The female ghost immortal gritted her teeth as she answered Lin Feng. Lin Feng didn't care about the female ghost immortal's attitude. He asked, Name? The female ghost immortal answered, Guanghan Moon. This name was exactly the same as the name that the female ghost immortal had told him. How many years have you been here? Lin Feng continued to ask. The female ghostly immortal said, Time is long. I turned into a vengeful spirit and became a female ghostly immortal. It took a long time. Most of the time, I was muddle-headed, so I don't know how long it was. Lin Feng nodded and asked, Why didn't you enter the underworld? The female ghostly immortal replied, I can't enter the underworld. Why? Lin Feng asked, puzzled. Generally speaking, any spirit or ghost like the female ghost immortal could enter the underworld world. The underworld was their final destination. This was the first time that Lin Feng had heard that ghosts couldn't enter the underworld. I've been cursed, the female ghost immortal said. She seemed to have thought of something sad, so when she said this, she couldn't help but reveal a heartbroken expression. What happened in the past? Lin Feng continued to ask. The female ghost immortal was silent. So many years have passed. Can't you get over it? Lin Feng asked. The female ghost immortal said, The pain didn't happen to you, so it's natural for you to say it so easily. Only those who have experienced it know how difficult it is to overcome it. Lin Feng said, I understand how you feel, but the past is the past. It's time to face a new life, so be bold and tell me what happened in the past. That way, you can face the future. Can I? The female ghost immortal couldn't help but mutter to herself. She wasn't sure either. Of course you can, Lin Feng said with certainty. The female ghost immortal fell silent for a while before saying, Back then, I was killed by someone I trusted. I died very, very miserably. I even became a sacrifice. It's funny when I think about it. I thought that the promise of eternal love would bring me happiness in the future, but in reality, I walked step by step into the abyss. Is it related to the Wu family? Lin Feng asked. The female ghost immortal sighed and nodded. Yes, it's related to the Wu family. What exactly is going on? Lin Feng asked. My father obtained a treasure called the Jiutian Cauldron. It was very special. It was sealed and could not be opened. Once it was opened, many terrible things would happen. However, when my father obtained the Jiutian Cauldron, the seal of the Jiutian Cauldron had already loosened. My physique is special, and my bloodline can suppress the seal of the Jiutian Cauldron. Therefore, my father left the Jiutian Cauldron with me. Later, when I went out to train, I met someone. He was very strong, very young, very handsome, and very good to me. How could I have experienced such things at that time? Therefore, I had a good impression of him. But we weren't from the same world. He was from the undying world, and I was from the celestial world. I brought him to see my parents. I told my parents that I liked him very much. I hoped that I could go to the undying world with him. He also made a lot of promises to my parents. She said, I won't travel far with my parents. Lin Feng said. Yes, I won't travel far with my parents. The celestial world and the undying world are very, very far apart. The female ghost immortal sighed. My parents didn't agree because the journey was too far. They couldn't be at ease with me going to the undying world, but I insisted and they finally agreed. After that, I came to the undying world and went to the Wu family. I thought that I would have a happy life. He promised to marry me and prepared a wedding for me. But on the night of the wedding, he changed. Chapter 51:29. That's a sad story, he said. Lin Feng said. Maybe it's because I can't see through people. Now that I think about it, my parents didn't want me to come to the undying realm. Maybe it wasn't just because the undying realm was too far away from the heaven realm. Maybe there were other reasons. But at that time, I was blinded by love, so I didn't listen to their advice. Therefore, they didn't tell me about their worries. Under my insistence, they finally compromised, said the female ghost immortal. Are you saying this because you hate your parents for not standing up for them? Lin Feng couldn't help but ask. The female ghost immortal said, Why would I hate my parents? I only have love for them. I only regret now. Why did I choose to leave my parents back then? If they knew about my death, would they be extremely sad? They didn't come looking for you? Lin Feng asked. I don't know. The female ghost immortal shook her head. At that time, the female ghost immortal was just a vengeful spirit and didn't have her own thoughts. So, even if the female ghost immortal's parents came looking for her, she probably wouldn't know. Therefore, the female ghost immortal really didn't know about this matter. Do you know why that person treated you so cruelly? Could it be that all the vows of eternal love were fake? Lin Feng asked. Maybe he knew about the 9 heavens God cauldron long ago, so he deliberately approached me. Maybe he found out later, but in front of benefits and me, he chose benefits and abandoned me. The female ghost immortal said sadly. It was indeed not an easy thing to walk out of such a sorrowful thing. Even after so many years. The female ghost immortal still couldn't completely walk out of this matter. Maybe she could say that she didn't care anymore, but in reality, she still cared about many things. What happened after that? The cultivators of the Wu family died one after another. What happened? Is it related to the 9 heavens God cauldron? Lin Feng asked. When he asked this question, Lin Feng didn't have much hope of getting an answer because the female ghost immortal should have died at that time. She probably didn't know what happened after that. The female ghost immortal said, I didn't experience what happened after that, but my father said that the 9 heavens God cauldron is a supreme treasure to the people of that world, but to us, it's a disaster. Therefore, when the people of our era open the seal of the 9 heavens God cauldron, it's very difficult to control it. There's a high chance that we would be devoured by the 9 heavens God cauldron. Hearing this, Lin Feng couldn't help but frown slightly. If that was the case, the tragedy of the Wu family might really be related to the 9 heavens God cauldron. In fact, at first, Lin Feng had some sympathy for the Wu family, but now, he didn't. Many things in the world were about the cycle of karma. The Wu family killed the female ghost immortal's previous life, Guan Hunwe, to satisfy their ambitions, but in the end, they were devoured by the 9 heavens God cauldron. Perhaps this was the so-called cycle of karma. I heard that the 9 heavens God cauldron is still here. I wonder if you've found out where it is after all these years? Lin Feng asked. I've tried to find the 9 heavens God cauldron's location, but I didn't find any clues. Even so, I still feel that the 9 heavens God cauldron should be hidden somewhere. The female ghost immortal said. Lin Feng frowned slightly. The female ghost immortal didn't know where the 9 heavens God cauldron was hidden. If that was the case, he could only look for other clues. Lin Feng said. Perhaps I can help you escape, but I don't know how. Do you know? The female ghost immortal looked at Lin Feng in shock and said, Are you really willing to help me? Of course. Lin Feng nodded. Hearing Lin Feng's words, the female ghost immortal immediately became happy. She said, Come with me. Lin Feng nodded and removed the seal on the female ghost immortal. Then, he followed the female ghost immortal into the depths. The space in the underground world wasn't small. With the female ghost immortal leading the way, Lin Feng flew for 2 hours before arriving at their final destination. At the end of the underground world, there was a huge altar. 9 thick copper pillars stood on top of the altar. On one of the bronze pillars, there was a skeleton tied to it. Even though there was only a skeleton left, it could still be seen that it was left behind by a woman. Because the skeleton was relatively slender, which was a characteristic of a woman's skeleton. Men's skeletons were usually thicker. That's my skeleton. I can't get close to that place. Young master, go over and take my skeleton and bury it in the ground. I'll be able to escape the curse of this place and leave this place, the female ghost immortal said. All right, wait a moment, Lin Feng said. He was about to fly towards the altar. But at that moment, a rustling sound could be heard. After hearing that sound, Lin Feng stopped and walked outside. An old man smoking a pipe walked over. It was Lao Wu Tu. Little friend, why aren't you sleeping at night? What are you doing here? Lao Wu Tu looked at Lin Feng and asked. Lin Feng said, I was attacked by a female ghost, so I chased after her. Are you talking about this female ghost? She has indeed been here for a long time. Many customers have been killed by this female ghost. It can be seen that this female ghost is not a good person, so we should stay away from her, Lao Wu Tu said. Lin Feng said, Since you know that this female ghost has killed many people, why don't you kill her? Lao Wu Tu sighed and said, How can it be so easy to kill her? Her methods are too powerful. It's already good that she didn't kill you. Right now, this female ghost's body is bound, so her strength is greatly reduced. If little friend releases the corpse of this female ghost's previous life, then she will no longer be bound, and her battle strength will definitely increase greatly. At that time, it will be a disaster for everyone, including you. Would you believe the words of a female ghost? Ghosts are the best at deceiving people, because the words of ghosts are all nonsense, and naturally, ghosts cannot be trusted. Now that you mention it, it makes sense. Lin Feng nodded. The female ghost immortal's expression suddenly changed. She said, Young master, everything I said is the truth. I definitely did not deceive you. Young master, don't listen to this person's words to sow discord. Chapter 5130. What's the point of saying that? Everyone knows whether they should believe lies or not. Lao Wu Tu said. I'm going to kill you! The female ghost immortal screamed and charged towards Lao Wu Tu. Lao Wu Tu waved his sleeve and a terrifying force surged out. The female ghost immortal was sent flying. Lin Feng narrowed his eyes and looked at Lao Wu Tu. This old man's cultivation was very strong. Although the female ghost immortal's strength had decreased because of the previous battle and her injuries, she was still very strong. However, she had been easily sent flying by Lao Wu Tu. This Lao Wu Tu was really unfathomable. Who are you? Aren't all the Wu clan members dead? Why are you the only one who survived? Furthermore, when my divine sense was born, I noticed that you were spying on me. But after so many years, you never attacked me. What exactly are you planning? The female ghost immortal asked sternly. I'm not killing you because I can't kill you, Lao Wu Tu said indifferently. Then, he looked at Lin Feng and said, Little friend, leave now. I know why you're here. When the time comes, you just have to fight for the opportunity you want. Nobody will stop you. Forget about everything else. Don't leave me. The female ghost immortal looked at Lin Feng. In her eyes there was pleading and fear. Maybe it was just like many years ago when she was burned alive by the person she loved. She used to trust people. But she had ended up like that. Now, she was trying to trust someone else, but she didn't know what the result would be. She was afraid. She had been abandoned again. Lin Feng looked at Lao Wu Tu and said, I think that ghosts are harmless, but people can deceive people. People's hearts are much scarier than ghosts. Ghosts are straightforward, while people beat around the bush. Does that mean you want to meddle in other people's business? Lao Wu Tu looked at Lin Feng with a sinister smile. Said Lin Feng, How could that be called meddling in other people's business? Isn't there a saying that saving a life is better than building a 7-story pagoda? You saved a female ghost immortal, not a human, Lao Wutu said coldly. Lin Feng said, I take back what I said just now. Saving a ghost is better than building a 7-story pagoda. The corner of Lao Wutu's mouth twitched violently when he heard Lin Feng's words. Lao Wutu could not help but curse in his heart. This guy. How could he be so shameless? Truly, shameless people are invincible in this world. You don't know what's good for you. Since that's the case, this old man will send you to heaven. Lao Wutu looked at Lin Feng with an indifferent expression. He leaped out and instantly arrived beside Lin Feng. Then, he directly sent a palm strike towards Lin Feng. So fast. Lin Feng could not help but be shocked. Lao Wutu's speed was indeed too fast. It was unbelievably fast. Fortunately, Lin Feng's reaction was also extremely fast. Lin Feng reacted in an instant. Then, he sent a palm strike towards Lao Wutu. Bang! The two sides fiercely collided. Following the violent sound of the collision, Lin Feng felt an earth-shattering force rushing towards his body. That force. It fiercely bombarded Lin Feng's body. Lin Feng was instantly sent flying. You're too weak. Lao Wutu sneered and continued to attack Lin Feng. He wanted to kill Lin Feng in one go. Lin Feng was shocked. How could this old man be so strong? Just as Lin Feng was about to make a move, Lao Wutu had already arrived beside Lin Feng. He once again sent a palm strike towards Lin Feng. Lin Feng's expression became ugly. Facing Lao Wutu's attack, Lin Feng had no time to use his divine ability. Therefore, he could only block Lao Wutu's terrifying attack with his arms. Bang! Lao Wutu's tyrannical attack bombarded Lin Feng's arms. Lin Feng was immediately sent flying by Lao Wutu. Lao Wutu chased after Lin Feng. For the third time, he launched an attack on Lin Feng. At this time, the female ghost immortal rushed over and clawed at Lao Wutu with her sharp claws. Get lost! Lao Wutu coldly looked at the female ghost immortal and sent a palm strike through the void. In the middle of his palm, a question mark appeared. D word. Legend has it that when Buddha was born, he held a question mark. D word. This question mark. D word represented an extraordinary meaning. Bang! Lao Wutu's attack collided with the female ghost immortal. The female ghost immortal was greatly restrained by Lao Wutu's attack and was sent flying. Her face was as white as paper. Her body fell to the ground and twitched in pain. From time to time, she would scream in pain. Old thing, eat my spear! Lin Feng took this opportunity to take out his epic war spear and attacked Lao Wutu with it. Xian Yuan Dipper Shield. Lao Wutu's voice was indifferent. With a wave of his hand, a huge golden light shield appeared in front of him. That golden shield's defensive power was astonishing. When Lin Feng's spear pierced through, it was blocked by Lao Wutu's golden shield. Lao Wutu's palm struck Lin Feng's chest. Lin Feng was sent flying by Lao Wutu's palm strike. Cough, cough. Lin Feng started coughing violently. Although he was wearing the Dominator's armor and using dermic immunity, Lao Wutu's palm strike still caused some damage to Lin Feng. This old thing Lao Wutu was too terrifying. He had underestimated this old thing. He didn't expect this old thing to be so strong. You're just an ant. So what if you have a powerful supreme treasure? You still can't escape death. Lao Wutu's voice was cold. He was like a grim reaper from hell as he charged at Lin Feng. The Xian Yuan Dipper shield floated in front of him. This guy was good at both offense and defense. He was really a troublesome character. It was too difficult to deal with this kind of cultivator. At this moment, Lin Feng knew that the situation was dangerous. So, Lin Feng decided not to hide his strongest battle power. The Dominator's armor, the Golden Dwarf, the Magic Lotus, the Saint Bone, and the power of his external incarnation all flowed into Lin Feng's body. Lin Feng suddenly sensed that his fighting strength had started to increase rapidly. Although Lin Feng didn't know the powerful spear technique that went with the epic war spear, However, Lin Feng's battle power soared. Even if he didn't know the powerful spear technique that went with the Epic War Spear, he could still release the power of the Epic War Spear. Die! Lin Feng held the Epic War Spear and stabbed at Lao Wu Tu. Chapter 51-31. Facing Lin Feng's attack, Lao Wu Tu still used his Xianyuan Tiangang shield to block it. Lin Feng couldn't help but laugh coldly. This guy was really confident. Did he really think that his attack was still the same as before? His attack was different now. Things are no longer the same as they used to be. You'll be crying soon. Lin Feng's Epic War Spear once again stabbed Lao Wu Tu's Xianyuan Tiangang shield. Last time, the Xianyuan Tiangang shield blocked the Epic War Spear's attack. But this time, it couldn't block the Epic War Spear's attack. Puff! A tearing sound was suddenly heard. Lao Wu Tu's Xianyuan Tiangang shield was directly pierced through by Lin Feng's Epic War Spear. The Epic War Spear then went straight for Lao Wu Tu's neck. Lao Wu Tu's expression suddenly changed. He didn't expect Lin Feng to be able to break through his defensive shield. However, Lao Wu Tu was strong and his reaction was extremely fast. When Lin Feng's spear was still a distance away from Lao Wu Tu, the old man had already moved to the left. Lin Feng's spear pierced through the air. Lin Feng's expression was indifferent. He directly used total annihilation. The war spear in his hand swept towards Lao Wu Tu. The Epic War Spear swept out a powerful spear light. The powerful spear light directly tore through the void and instantly arrived in front of Lao Wu Tu, sweeping towards him. Lao Wu Tu was shocked and quickly retreated. Even so, his neck was still swept. Suddenly, a huge wound appeared and blood flowed out continuously. Damn it! Lao Wu Tu couldn't help but roar in anger. He was actually injured, which made Lao Wu Tu quite angry. Lao Wu Tu's hand flashed. Suddenly, a halberd appeared. Lin Feng could not help but roll his eyes and say, "Holy shit, you're actually using a weapon like the halberd? Aren't you embarrassed? Don't you think your current appearance is an insult to the halberd?" After hearing Lin Feng's ridicule, Lao Wu Tu's heart was filled with hatred. He said coldly, "Kid, I'm going to grind your bones to dust later. Old thing, I'm afraid you don't have that ability." Lin Feng sneered and charged toward Lao Wu Tu again with his Epic War Spear. Lin Feng's spear stabbed toward Lao Wu Tu. Lao Wu Tu swept his halberd toward Lin Feng. Clang! Lin Feng's Epic War Spear and Lao Wu Tu's halberd collided fiercely. A loud clang. The sound reverberated throughout heaven and earth. The surrounding void was actually shattered by the shockwave. The collision of such power was truly terrifying. After Lao Wu Tu took out his treasure, his battle prowess had greatly increased. Therefore, it was not easy to rely on the Epic War Spear to deal with Lao Wu Tu. Even though Lao Wu Tu was injured, it was still quite difficult to deal with him. He needed to use some new methods. Lin Feng used the 1 Qi into 3 Pure Ones technique. 2 doppelgangers manifested. Together with Lin Feng, they surrounded Lao Wu Tu. Then, Lin Feng's original body and his clones combined to display 12 layers of domineering magnetic fields. After the 12 layers of domineering magnetic fields were displayed, the 12 layers of domineering magnetic fields suppressed Lao Wu Tu. After being enveloped by Lin Feng's 12 layers of domineering magnetic fields, Lao Wu Tu's battle prowess was greatly reduced. The domineering magnetic fields could reduce a cultivator's battle prowess, but how much? It was related to 2 aspects. The first aspect, the number of layers of domineering magnetic fields. The more layers of domineering magnetic fields, the more powerful it was, and the more obvious the suppression on the cultivator's cultivation base. The second aspect, the cultivator's cultivation base was suppressed by the domineering magnetic fields. The stronger the cultivator's cultivation base was, the stronger their ability to resist the domineering magnetic fields. The domineering magnetic fields had less suppression on the cultivator's cultivation base. These 2 aspects complemented each other. Because Lao Wu Tu's cultivation base was relatively high, Lin Feng's domineering magnetic fields did not suppress Lao Wutu's cultivation base as much as imagined. Lin Feng's domineering magnetic fields only weakened Lao Wutu's battle prowess by 30%. But to be honest, it weakened Lao Wutu's battle prowess by 30%. It was already very impressive. In addition to weakening Lao Wutu's battle prowess, Lao Wutu's speed was also greatly restricted. Lin Feng's battle prowess, under the support of the domineering magnetic fields, was greatly increased. Therefore, in this situation where one side was weakened and the other side was strengthened, the gap between the two sides suddenly became obvious. Clang, clang, clang. Lin Feng's original body and his two clones continuously fought with Lao Wutu for more than 10 rounds. Lao Wutu was suppressed. Lao Wutu's face became more and more ugly. Perhaps this old thing definitely did not expect that he would be suppressed to this extent by a young cultivator. Kid, do you really want to fight to the death with me? Lao Wutu's expression darkened as he looked at Lin Feng. Old thing, now that I've offended you, if I don't kill you, I won't be able to eat or sleep in peace. Lin Feng sneered as he said. His attacks became more and more fierce. Lao Wutu's resistance became more and more difficult. At this time, the female ghost immortal also recovered a lot, so she also joined the battle. Because Lao Wutu was suppressed by Lin Feng's original body and his two clones, it was difficult for him to divert his attention to deal with the female ghost immortal. Therefore, after the female ghost immortal joined the battle, Lao Wutu's situation became worse and worse. Several times, Lao Wutu was almost killed, but Lao Wutu's cultivation was strong enough to turn danger into safety. But even so, Lao Wutu's back was torn by the female ghost immortal and one of Lin Feng's clones, leaving 2 deep wounds on his back. Blood stained his back red. Ah! Lao Wutu suddenly let out a burst of angry roars. Then, his body emitted a crackling sound. Then, a shocking scene occurred. Lao Wutu's body. He actually became younger, and his body also became taller. Damn, what's going on? Could it be that he's going to transform? Seeing the situation in front of him, Lin Feng was suddenly very shocked. You all should go to hell. Lao Wutu's cold voice came out. Then, his body completed a transformation in an extremely short period of time. His body changed from a white-haired old man to a cultivator in his 30s. Seeing Lao Wutu's transformation, Lin Feng couldn't help but mutter. Was this still Lao Wutu? Wasn't this too young? Author's note: I'm feeling much better after catching a cold. 9 chapters today. Please subscribe to the original version. Recently, the subscription hasn't been ideal. Old Mantu's heart is stifled. There's a new member in the family and I need money. Everyone, come to QQ to read or subscribe to the original version of the archaic dragonesque elephant technique. Chapter 5132. It's you! It's actually you! You're still alive! When the female ghost immortal saw the transformed Lao Wutu, her eyes were filled with boundless hatred. Lin Feng was very surprised that the female ghost immortal knew Lao Wutu. Soon, Lin Feng thought of Lao Wutu's identity. Could it be that Lao Wutu's true identity was the man who abandoned the female ghost immortal back then? The man who harmed the female ghost immortal back then? That was really possible. This guy was actually still alive. Lin Feng originally thought that this guy had died long ago. There was a saying that went, "Good people don't live long, but scourges live for 1,000 years." This saying was indeed true. That's right, it's me, Hanwei. I still love you, so when I found out that you had a vengeful spirit, I helped you gather baleful Yin-Chi in order to help you condense a body. Now that you've condensed a body of flesh and blood, I'm very happy to see that you've condensed a body of flesh and blood. I've always wanted to reunite with you, but because I was worried that you would still hold a grudge against me, I didn't reunite with you and have been silently protecting you in the dark. Lao Wutu said. Of course, now that this guy had become younger, it was no longer appropriate to call him Lao Wutu. Wu Yuan, do you think I'll believe your nonsense? Back then, you caused me to be so miserable, yet you still have the nerve to say such words. I'm really embarrassed by your shamelessness. The female ghost immortal coldly looked at the younger old man Wu. So this guy's name was Wu Yuan. His name sounded pretty good, but he was so bad that he oozed pus. Wu Yuan said, Hanwei, I know you hate me. You should hate me. After all, I did something wrong to you back then. But can you listen to my explanation? Things have already come to this. What else do you want to explain? The female ghost immortal coldly said. Wu Yuan said, We were about to get married that day, but before that, I was controlled by the god of the nine heavens god Cauldron. The god of the nine heavens god Cauldron was controlled? It was really too powerful. I couldn't fight against the god of the nine heavens god Cauldron. The cauldron controlled my body and did many wrong things, including burning you to death here. My heart was about to break at that time, and I even thought of destroying my own soul to accompany you. However, I was unwilling to do so. I had to destroy the cauldron before I could go to hell to accompany you. That's why I've been living an ignoble life until now. Fortunately, God has eyes and actually allowed you to refine your body again. I'm really happy to see that you've been able to survive this tribulation. Wu Yuan's words was full of tenderness. Lin, Hanyue's god Kai, was the immortal? You're not lying? The female ghost immortal asked. Wu Yuan replied, Of course I didn't lie to you. How? Asked the immortal. Wu Yuan said, It's because of the nine heavens god Cauldron. It secretly controlled my body and put a curse on it. All these years, I've been resisting the nine heavens god Cauldron, but it's very difficult to fight against this guy. However, if you can help me, I'll definitely be able to destroy it. Do you know where the nine heavens god Cauldron is? Asked the immortal. Wu Yuan nodded. Of course I do. The nine heavens god Cauldron is trapped under the 8 trigrams array in the center of the mansion. How can I help you? Asked the immortal. Join forces with me to kill this kid and use his blood to deal with the god of the nine heavens god Cauldron. His bloodline is very terrifying. It's unprecedentedly terrifying. So his bloodline can deal with the god of the nine heavens god Cauldron? It'll cause a lot of damage. That's the only way we can succeed, said Wu Yuan. Lin Feng was speechless. Fuck, he wants to sacrifice me? You can't believe this guy's words. However, the immortal chose to remain silent. She didn't answer Lin Feng or Wu Yuan. Her expression was gloomy, and no one knew what she was thinking. Seeing the immortal's expression, Lin Feng's expression sank. He felt that things weren't going well. I know that this guy helped you before, so you don't want to kill him. But think about it carefully. This guy wanted to take you as a slave because he coveted your beauty. Maybe he did all these things for you just to make you like him and then find an opportunity to attack you. But I'm different from him. I love you wholeheartedly without any selfishness. As long as I destroy the Jiotian cauldron, I don't know how many innocent people will be saved. This is a good thing for heaven and earth. When the time comes, the curse that the Jiotian cauldron imposed on me will disappear and I'll be free. Then, we can be together again. Wu Yuan continued. Wu Yuan is right. What are you waiting for? Hurry up and agree to his request. At that moment, a voice came from outside. Following that, a cultivator flew over. It was none other than the old witch. Who are you? The immortal looked at the old witch and asked. She had naturally seen the old witch before, but she didn't know much about her identity. I'm a dying person, but I want to seize this opportunity to resolve the crisis of my lifespan. Let's destroy the nine heavens god cauldron together. When the time comes, I'll be able to devour the energy inside the cauldron. At that time, my cultivation will be greatly enhanced, and I'll be able to defy the heavens and change my fate. You and Wu Yuan can also live together. It's really killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Grandma Wu continued to speak. Count me in. At that moment, another cultivator flew over. It was the girl who looked only a few years old. Her name was Ghost Mountain Child, and she was also an extremely powerful cultivator. After Elder Ghost Mountain flew over, Su Wanqing also flew over and said, I should be able to help. Ha ha, with your help, this kid will definitely die today. Wu Yuan laughed loudly, looking extremely proud. What about you? Lin Feng looked at the immortal. The immortal said, I won't participate in this matter. Wu Yuan smiled and said, It's good that you don't participate. Lin Feng was very depressed. The immortal had chosen not to participate, which was no different from betraying him. Next, he would have to face Wu Yuan, Grandma Wu Zhu, Ghost Mountain Child, and Su Wanqing. Chapter 51-33. Although he was very depressed, he still had to face it. At the same time, Lin Feng felt a little emotional. It seemed that the so-called kindness was nothing in front of her old lover. It didn't mean anything. Although it was a little heart-wrenching, the world of cultivators had always been very cruel. To talk about friendship with others? Forget it. This was a world that ate people without spitting out the bones. Unless it was your biological parents, who might be sincere to you, everyone else might betray you. Impulse is the devil. I think there's some misunderstanding between us. Maybe we can sit down and talk calmly, Lin Feng said. Wu Yuan said righteously, Boy, we don't want to kill you, but for the sake of the world, we must kill you. After hearing Wu Yuan's words, Lin Feng suddenly had the urge to curse. He made it sound like he was a heinous demon. Yes, we're killing you for the sake of the world, so I hope you can understand our good intentions, Elder Guishan said. Grandma Wu Zhu said, Sacrificing you will bring happiness to millions. Su Wanqing didn't say such shameless words, but she obviously decided to participate in the battle against Lin Feng. Then let's see if you can kill me, Lin Feng said indifferently. His two clones stood beside him, and the three Pure One's divine ability hadn't dissipated yet. So now Lin Feng was in his peak state. Do it, Wu Yuan said indifferently. He held the Sky Piercer and attacked Lin Feng. Elder Ghost Mountain took out a Ghost Emperor Streamer. The Ghost Emperor Streamer began to shake violently in the void. Every time it shook, it couldn't help but shake out waves of extremely powerful fluctuations. It was also an extremely powerful supreme treasure. Su Wanqing held a Jade Re magic treasure in her hand. Every time she waved the Jade Re magic treasure in her hand, it would sweep out a terrifying light beam. Grandma Wu Zhu took out a demonic blade. With a sweep of the demonic blade, the void was destroyed. Lin Feng naturally didn't want to be outdone. Together with the two great clones, he fought against the four great experts. However, the methods of the four experts were all very powerful. Lin Feng's original body was still manageable. There was no problem for the time being, but Lin Feng's two clones were in an extremely bad situation. This was because Lin Feng had been using the one Qi into three Pure Ones for a while now. Therefore, the battle prowess of the two clones had actually dropped quite a bit. As time passed, the strength of the two clones would continue to drop. Therefore, in this kind of confrontation, the two clones were gradually unable to hold on. In the end, the two clones completely disappeared. The situation wasn't looking good. Lin Feng planned to break out of the encirclement. It was obviously not a wise choice to stay and fight. Lin Feng swung the epic war spear at the four experts. The terrifying spear light collided with the opponent's attack. The four experts were forced to retreat. Lin Feng's epic war spear was truly powerful. However, using the epical war spear consumed a lot of energy. It couldn't be maintained for long. Lin Feng felt that his spiritual energy was being consumed too quickly. Therefore, he didn't continue to fight. After repelling the four experts, Lin Feng quickly rushed outside. At this moment, Wu Yuan had actually taken out a powerful treasure. It was a mirror. The mirror emitted a beam of light. In front of Lin Feng, a Star River world suddenly appeared. No matter how Lin Feng flew, he couldn't fly past that Star River world. Damn, so strange. Lin Feng couldn't help but shout gloomily. Lin Feng had some powerful treasures. Others also had powerful treasures. This was unavoidable. Now that Lin Feng was trapped by someone else's powerful treasure, it was really troublesome. Kid, you can't escape. Prepare to die. Wu Yuan sneered. He, Elder Ghost Mountain, Su Wanqing, and Grandma Witch all attacked Lin Feng together. Lin Feng was surrounded by the four of them. The two sides immediately engaged in a fierce battle. In this battle, Lin Feng was entangled by the four of them. He couldn't escape. Lin Feng's expression became gloomier. Kid, just obediently accept your death. Why do you have to make such a pointless struggle? Elder Ghost Mountain said gloomily. Struggle my ass. Lin Feng cursed. You're courting death. Elder Ghost Mountain shouted angrily. The Ghost Emperor banner shook even more violently. The Ghost Emperor banner's power was constantly increasing. Wu Yuan said, This kid's spiritual energy is being consumed very quickly. Let's put in more effort, and we can definitely kill him. Wu Yuan also began to increase his offensive power. Su Wanqing didn't say anything, but she was using her actions to increase her threat. Su Wanqing's Jade Scepter's power was constantly increasing. Grandma Witch's demonic blade's power was also constantly increasing. Just as the four experts were increasing their power and wanted to take down Lin Feng in one go. Suddenly, in the void, an 8 trigrams Dharma treasure flew over. The 8 trigrams Dharma treasure quickly grew in size and started to spin rapidly in the void. With each spin, the treasure's power would suddenly increase by a lot. The 8 trigrams treasure directly shattered the river of stars and flew above everyone. Terrifying beams of light shot out from the 8 trigrams treasure towards Wu Yuan, Elder Ghost Mountain, Su Wanqing, and Grandma Witch. Originally, the four of them wanted to kill Lin Feng in one go. However, they were suddenly attacked by the 8 trigrams treasure and had no choice but to block it. Lin Feng took advantage of this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to get rid of the four of them. He saw the person who had used the treasure to help him escape. It was none other than Wan Lingwei. You came just in time, said Lin Feng, taking a deep breath. It's so lively here. After I heard the commotion, I naturally wanted to come and join in the fun, Wan Lingwei said. At this moment, Wu Yuan, Elder Ghost Mountain, Su Wanqing, and Grandma Witch had already blocked the 8 trigrams treasure's attack. They didn't know who had forged the 8 trigrams treasure, but it was extremely terrifying. It was definitely a top-level treasure. Wu Yuan looked coldly at Wan Lingwei and said, What do you mean by this? Do you want to join forces with this kid? If that's the case, then you're our enemy. However, if you join forces with us to deal with this kid, then you'll definitely get a lot of benefits from the 9 Heavens God Cauldron. Wu Yuan wanted to pull Wan Lingwei along. Lin Feng couldn't help but frown slightly. He couldn't control other people's thoughts, so Lin Feng didn't know what Wan Lingwei's decision would be. Wan Lingwei sneered and said, I've always been a person of my words. Since I've joined forces with Brother Lin, then I'm Brother Lin's ally. After killing you, the 9 Heavens God Cauldron's opportunity will be mine and Brother Lin's. Lin Feng was so touched that he almost burst into tears. Little Sister Lingwei is really a good person. I really want to hug you. Chapter 5134. Since you want to die with this brat, we can help you, said Lin Feng coldly. Wu Yuan immediately sneered as a dense killing intent appeared in his eyes. Grandma Wu said, This girl's bloodline is also very strong. Isn't it better to sacrifice them together? We'll send the 2 of you to hell. Boy, it's a good thing to have such a beautiful girl accompany you on the road, Lin Feng said. I already knew that you weren't a good person. Now I've confirmed my guess. You're really not a good person. I'll beat you until you kneel and call me Grandpa, Grandma Wu said angrily. Boy, your mouth is really cheap. When I catch you later, I'll make sure you die without a burial place. After the old witch finished speaking, the 4 strong cultivators once again surrounded Lin Feng and Wan Lingwei. The 2 sides fought fiercely. It was a stalemate. For a while, it was difficult to do anything to each other. I have a secret technique. Let's combine our strength to deal with them, Wu Yuan shouted when he saw that he couldn't defeat Lin Feng and Wan Lingwei. Grandma Witch Ancestor, Witch Mountain Child, and Su Wanqing all agreed. Then, Their powerful spiritual energy flowed into Wu Yuan's body. My secret technique is called all-directional deterrence. It can form a special magnetic field. When this magnetic field is formed, it can immediately erupt with an unimaginably strong deterrent force. Any cultivator who is enveloped by this deterrent force will be suppressed. Those with a weak cultivation level will probably die on the spot, Wu Yuan said proudly. As soon as he finished speaking, Yi Zichen's voice fell. Wu Yuan started to condense this special magnetic field. This magnetic field was a bit similar to the domineering magnetic field, but it was different. When Wu Yuan condensed this magnetic field, Lin Feng immediately felt an extremely terrifying pressure fill the air. This pressure contained a very strange and terrifying energy. This kind of power couldn't be underestimated. Lend me a hand. Lin Feng looked at Wan Lingwei and said, Okay. Wan Lingwei nodded, and her magic power started to flow towards Lin Feng. Now, Lin Feng thought of using the domineering magnetic field to deal with Wu Yuan's method. After all, Wu Yuan's method seemed to be similar to a magnetic field. Although it wasn't the domineering magnetic field, it was still extremely terrifying. As the saying goes, fight poison with poison. Now, Lin Feng planned to attack the magnetic field with the magnetic field. Of course, Lin Feng was no longer able to condense 12 domineering magnetic fields. This was because the prerequisite for condensing the 12 domineering magnetic fields was that Lin Feng could also use the 1 qi into 3 pure ones. However, Lin Feng had just used the 1 qi into 3 pure ones. This ability needed to cool down for a period of time before it could be used again. Therefore, Lin Feng could only activate 4 domineering magnetic fields. Of course, in Lin Feng's opinion, 4 domineering magnetic fields were already strong enough. With the support of Wan Lingyue's spiritual power, Lin Feng felt that the spiritual power in his body had become much stronger. He guided Wan Lingyue's spiritual power to converge with the spiritual power in his body. Then, Lin Feng began to try to condense 4 domineering magnetic fields. Soon, the 4 domineering magnetic fields were condensed by Lin Feng. Lin Feng's domineering magnetic field shrouded Wu Yuan's omniscient deterrence. The 2 attacks suddenly collided in the void, and then a stalemate was formed. Lin Feng's 4 domineering magnetic fields were only supported by the spiritual power of Lin Feng and Wan Lingwei, but it was able to form a stalemate with the omniscient deterrence. It could be seen that Lin Feng's 4 domineering magnetic fields were stronger. Both sides were trying to suppress each other, and the 2 magnetic fields formed a special field. When the balance was tilted, the other side would suffer from the attack brought about by this domain. This kind of force field was extremely terrifying. Once one was attacked by this kind of force field, it was very likely that the cultivator would suffer a fatal injury. Therefore, whether it was Lin Feng's side or Wu Yuan's side, they didn't dare to stop easily. Both sides wanted to see who would be the first to give up. Hanwei, help me kill that boy. At that moment, Wu Yuan looked at the female ghost immortal. I already said that I won't participate in this battle. The female ghost immortal refused Wu Yuan again. Wu Yuan said, Hanwei, I know that in your heart you must believe what I said before. That boy helped you because he wanted to obtain your body. He's ambitious, so you don't have to care about old feelings, and you don't have to feel sorry. Kill him, and we can use his blood to destroy the Jiutian god of the 9 heavens and earth cauldron. Think about it, all these years, we can't get married because of the Jiutian god of the 9 heavens and earth cauldron. You want to get rid of the Jiutian god of the 9 heavens and earth cauldron? Not only will we be able to take revenge, but we will also be able to help countless innocent people and prevent them from being wiped out. How great of a fortune is this? Don't tell me that you want to put yourself and countless pitiful people in danger just because you can't bear to kill this person? After hearing Wu Yuan's words, Lin Feng suddenly had the urge to stomp this guy to death. This guy really deserved a beating. He was clearly not a good person, but now he actually bit back. However, Lin Feng did not say anything. He did not know what choice the female ghost immortal would make. Lin Feng did not have much hope for the female ghost immortal. After all, previously, when Lin Feng was surrounded by the 4 experts, the female ghost immortal chose to stand by and watch. It was already a betrayal. Could it be that he still hoped that the female ghost immortal would have a conscience and help him? All right. I promise you. The female ghost immortal nodded. Great, we'll be able to be together very soon. Wu Yuan immediately revealed a smile. However, a sinister look appeared in the depths of his eyes. That sinister look was hidden very well by Wu Yuan. Thus, no one saw it. The female ghost immortal quickly flew over from afar. Her nails were the most powerful magic treasure. When she passed by Wu Yuan said, "Don't destroy his soul. Leave his soul, I have a use for it." Okay. The female ghost immortal nodded. The corners of Wu Yuan's mouth curled up into a sinister smile. Just as the female ghost immortal was about to fly towards Lin Feng, she suddenly exploded. Her sharp claws pierced towards Wu Yuan's chest. Wu Yuan's expression was filled with shock. He did not expect the female ghost immortal to suddenly attack him. He wanted to dodge, but it was too late. Puff! In the next moment, the female ghost immortal's sharp claws directly pierced Wang Yuan's chest. Chapter 5135. Why is this happening? Why did you suddenly attack me? Wu Yuan looked at the female ghost immortal in disbelief. The female ghost immortal's sudden attack caught him off guard. Because I didn't believe anything you said. I acted as if I had forgiven you on purpose. You invited me to help you kill Mr. Lin, but I didn't agree. I told you that I wouldn't help either side because I wanted to lower your vigilance. If I had agreed to help you kill Mr. Lin, you would have been suspicious. I needed to wait for a good opportunity to attack. Now you're in a deadlock and you want me to attack again. This is the best opportunity I've been waiting for. The female ghost immortal said proudly. You actually treat me like this. I'm completely infatuated with you. Wu Yuan said with difficulty. The female ghost immortal sneered and said, Even now you're still lying to me? I know, you must be worried that I'll destroy your heart, so you said such a lie. Do you know? I clearly felt that when you said those words, your heart beat a lot faster. So, I won't be fooled by you again. Go to hell. At this moment, Wu Yuan raised his right hand and sent a palm strike toward the female ghost immortal. That palm. It was condensed when Wu Yuan and the female ghost immortal were talking. This guy and the female ghost immortal's conversation was just to distract the female ghost immortal. The female ghost immortal sneered and directly dug out Wu Yuan's heart. Bang! In the next moment, Wu Yuan's tyrannical palm strike landed on the female ghost immortal's shoulder. The female ghost immortal was sent flying, and her face became paler and paler. Fortunately, when he attacked, Wu Yuan's battle power had already dropped tremendously. So, although the female ghost immortal had taken Wu Yuan's palm strike, that palm strike, for the female ghost immortal, it wasn't fatal. This could be considered a blessing in disguise. My heart, give it back to me! Wu Yuan pounced toward the female ghost immortal. You want the heart? In your next life. The female ghost immortal sneered, and a powerful ghost fire appeared in her palm. The ghost fire burned fiercely. Wu Yuan's heart was instantly burned to ashes. Wu Yuan, who had lost his heart, began to tremble violently. He fell straight down from the sky. Then, his body began to age rapidly. Master, save me! Wu Yuan begged loudly. Trash! At this moment, a cold voice came from Wu Yuan's body. When the voice came out, Wu Yuan's body quickly burned to ashes. Then, a black cauldron appeared in Lin Feng's line of sight. That cauldron. It exuded an extremely terrifying fluctuation. The Nine Heavens Cauldron. When Lin Feng and the others saw the black cauldron, they couldn't help but be astonished. This was the Nine Heavens God Cauldron they had been searching for. The Nine Heavens Cauldron. It was unexpected that it was hidden in Wu Yuan's body. Lin Feng was very puzzled. Why was the Nine Heavens God Cauldron hidden in Wu Yuan's body? There must be a reason. Let's call a truce. Our goal is the Nine Heavens Cauldron, Grandma Wuzu said. Lin Feng couldn't help but raise his eyebrows slightly. Although he really wanted to kill Grandma Wu Zhu and the others. But now, it was indeed not good to continue fighting. Continuing to fight with Grandma Wu Zhu and the others would only continue to weaken his and Wan Lingyue's strength. This point, Lin Feng was very clear. Okay, let's call a truce for now, Lin Feng said. He made it very clear that they were calling a truce for now. After the matter here was settled, they would still be enemies. Is he really under your control? The female ghost immortal looked at the Nine Heavens God Cauldron and asked. Back then, he knew about the Jiotian Cauldron a long time ago, so he slowly approached you and tricked you into coming to the undying world. Then, he found a way to communicate with me. In order to become stronger, he sold his soul to me, said Lin Feng. The god of the Nine Heavens God Cauldron? Said. The female ghost immortal had already expected all of this. The question just now was actually to preserve the last trace of a beautiful illusion. But this beautiful illusion was destroyed by the god of the Nine Heavens God Cauldron. It was completely destroyed. The female ghost immortal found that she was no longer sad. This surprised the female ghost immortal. It seemed she had really walked out of the past. What have you been planning all these years? Asked the female ghost immortal. The god of the Nine Heavens God Cauldron? I've been planning to completely open the seal. The female ghost immortal frowned and asked. Back then you sacrificed me. Could it be that you still couldn't open the seal? Maybe it's because your cultivation wasn't strong enough back then, so even after sacrificing you, you still couldn't completely open the seal. You should be very curious as to why your clan's bloodline could open my seal. The god of the Nine Heavens God Cauldron? Asked the female ghost immortal. It's because my bloodline is a little special, said the female ghost immortal. No, no, no. The god of the Nine Heavens God Cauldron? The real reason is because the person who sealed me back then was your clan's ancestor, the seventh celestial master, Guang Taizong. It was that old fart who sealed me. So, to open the seal, I need your clan's blood. The god of the Nine Heavens God Cauldron? Said the female ghost immortal. After hearing the Nine Heavens God Cauldron's words, Grandma Wu Zhu and the others came back to their senses. Wu Yuan had said that he could use Lin Feng and Wan Lingyue's blood to destroy the Nine Heavens God Cauldron. It was a bunch of nonsense. He probably wanted them to kill each other. In the end, he would capture all of them in one fell swoop. Grandma Wu Zhu and the others couldn't help but curse Wu Yuan in their hearts. At this moment, Lin Feng was a little shocked. The seventh celestial master was actually the female ghost immortal's ancestor. This was really shocking. All these years, have you been waiting for me to condense a body of flesh and blood? Asked the female ghost immortal. The Nine Heavens God Cauldron said. Yes, I've been waiting for you to condense a body of flesh and blood. Then I'll sacrifice you a second time. That way, I should be able to completely open my seal. Because your soul isn't perfect yet, I wanted to wait for a while. But now, it seems that I can't wait any longer. So you can die now. As soon as it finished speaking, the Nine Heavens God Cauldron flew towards the female ghost immortal. A powerful devouring power surged out of the cauldron. The Nine Heavens God Cauldron wanted to devour the female ghost immortal. 9th update. I haven't recovered from my cold, so I'm going to sleep. Looking for monthly votes, recommendation tickets, genuine subscription. Chapter 5136. The female ghost immortal turned around and fled toward Lin Feng, trying to avoid being devoured by the Nine Heavens God Cauldron. However, this was obviously not an easy task because the Nine Heavens God Cauldron had completely locked onto the female ghost immortal. When the female ghost immortal rushed toward Lin Feng, the Nine Heavens God Cauldron released a powerful devouring force that enveloped the female ghost immortal. The female ghost immortal tried to struggle, but was unable to break free. Her body quickly flew toward the Nine Heavens God Cauldron. Just as she was about to be devoured by the cauldron, Lin Feng appeared beside the cauldron. He held the battle spear in his hand and directly whipped it toward the cauldron. Although the Nine Heavens God Cauldron was a powerful treasure, Lin Feng's epical battle spear was equally terrifying. Therefore, when Lin Feng's epical battle spear struck the Nine Heavens God Cauldron, there was a sonorous sound of collision. The Nine Heavens God Cauldron was immediately sent flying by Lin Feng, and the female ghost immortal managed to escape from being devoured by the Nine Heavens God Cauldron. Boy, how dare you ruin my plans! The god of the Nine Heavens God Cauldron? It could not help but roar furiously, its voice filled with murderous intent. It originally wanted to devour the female ghost immortal and then break the seal, but it could not do so because it was sent flying by Lin Feng at the most critical moment. It was really mad. Lin Feng did not care about the Nine Heavens God Cauldron at all. Instead, he looked at the female ghost immortal and said, "Stay away. Don't let this guy get close to you." The female ghost immortal quickly nodded and flew into the distance. At this moment, the Nine Heavens God Cauldron pounced toward Lin Feng. After being ruined by Lin Feng, the god of the Nine Heavens God Cauldron? He hated Lin Feng to the core. He wanted to crush Lin Feng's bones and scatter his ashes. It also knew that if it did not get rid of Lin Feng, it could forget about devouring the female ghost immortal. Lin Feng would definitely stop it. Seeing the Nine Heavens God Cauldron coming quickly, Lin Feng immediately shouted in a deep voice, "Everyone, what are you waiting for? Why aren't you attacking the Nine Heavens God Cauldron? Do you want to miss out on this opportunity?" Hearing this, the others nodded one after another. Grandma Witch, Elder, Ghost Mountain Child, and Su Wanqing rushed toward the Heavens God Cauldron. Lin and Wan Lingwa were to kill the God Cauldron. The five began to the cauldron. To fight, to engage, to fight, to kill. Lin Feng tried to suppress the Nine Heavens and Earth Cauldron, but he failed. Suppressing the Nine Heavens God Cauldron was as difficult as ascending to the heavens. Of course, it wouldn't be easy for the cauldron to defeat Lin Feng and the other four cultivators. "Demon Lord, do you have a way to deal with the god of the Heavens God Cauldron? Right now, the five of us are only able to fight to a draw with this guy. As we consume more and more of our energy, we'll be in trouble," Lin Feng transmitted to the Demon Lord. The Demon Lord said, "The god of the Heavens God Cauldron? Although it's weakened, that's only relative to its peak. The god of the Heavens God Cauldron is still very powerful. Is that why you want to kill the god of the Heavens God Cauldron? It's simply impossible." Lin Feng's expression darkened. "Are you saying that we should leave now?" the Demon Lord said. "No. Although we can't kill the god of the Heavens God Cauldron, we can use other methods to deal with it. However, we can choose other ways to deal with him. Don't you want to devour the special energy stored in the Nine Heavens State Cauldron to raise your cultivation? You only need to make the god of the Heavens God Cauldron unable to control it. It's fine if you can't control the cauldron. You can devour the energy inside the cauldron. That way, your cultivation will increase greatly." "How can we prevent it from controlling the cauldron?" Lin Feng asked. "Well, I haven't thought of that yet," the Demon Lord replied. Lin Feng rolled his eyes when he heard the Demon Lord's words. If that was the case, didn't that mean there was no hope at all? Go ask Wan Lingwei. Her master should be a Taoist cultivator. She might have a way. The Demon Lord transmitted. Lin Feng nodded. Lin Feng transmitted his voice to Wan Lingwei, asking her if she had a way to deal with the god of the Heavens God Cauldron. She had a way. "I have a treasure called the soul-repelling bell. It's very special because it's used to deal with the god of some treasures. Can this treasure cause the god of those treasures to fall asleep?" In the end, he had no choice but to hibernate. However, when this treasure is activated, it doesn't succeed every time. Especially during a great battle, when one's mind is more focused, it's very difficult to use the soul-expelling bell to achieve good results. And once the soul-expelling bell fails, it'll be even more difficult to use it to attack the opponent. Because the enemy will definitely be more vigilant. Wan Lingwei said. Said Lin Feng. "I also have a treasure. It's a soul attack treasure. I'm sure it's a godly treasure, right? It should be able to cause a great impact." I'll use that treasure to deal with the god of the heavens god cauldron. If it's the god of the heavens god cauldron? When it's affected, you should be able to deal with the god of the heavens god cauldron. It'll cause great damage, Wan Lingwei said. All right, let's do that. At this moment, Lin Feng, Wan Lingwei, Grandma Witch Ancestor, Witch Mountain Child, and Su Wanqing were at a disadvantage in the battle against the Heavens God Cauldron. After a long time, the Heavens God Cauldron had accumulated a great amount of energy. Therefore, it wasn't afraid of consumption at all. However, Lin Feng and the others couldn't. In a great battle, the consumption of magic power was extremely serious. Grandma Witch Ancestor and Witch Mountain Child cursed angrily, because they felt that those opportunities were getting further and further away from them. Naturally, they were very depressed. Although Su Wanqing didn't curse, her expression didn't look good either. You'll all die later. The god of the heavens god cauldron? He said sinisterly. This guy thought that he had everything under control, said Lin Feng, smiling coldly. He took out his skeleton bracelet. The skull bracelet suddenly grew rapidly, and the 18 skulls all let out sharp and ear-piercing cries. Those cries had a great impact on the soul. Ah! The god of the heavens god cauldron? It immediately let out a painful cry. At this moment, Wan Lingwei also took out her soul-repelling bell. Ding ding dang dang. The soul-repelling bell shook, and a strange collision sound was heard. The screaming god of the heavens god cauldron? It became quiet. Soon, Lin Feng and the others couldn't sense the god of the heavens god cauldron. Its aura was gone. Chapter 51-37. The reason why he could not sense the 9 heavens god cauldron? The aura was not because of the 9 heavens god cauldron? It had been killed. Was it because of the 9 heavens god cauldron? It fell into a deep slumber. Devour. Lin Feng waved his hand, and a powerful devouring power enveloped the 9 heavens god cauldron. Next, long rivers of energy were sucked out of the 9 heavens god cauldron by Lin Feng. Then, the long rivers of energy were absorbed into Lin Feng's time and space. The long rivers of energy were very special. They were not pure energy, but they were integrated with a very special power. Therefore, it could allow a cultivator to achieve a breakthrough in their cultivation. After Lin Feng made his move, the others followed suit. They also tried to obtain the special energy from the 9 heavens god cauldron. Even the female ghost immortal rushed over quickly to devour the energy. Lin Feng woke up Bibi, Blackie, Emperor Archaic, Demon King Bug, and the others to devour the energy. At this moment, it was a race against time. It was time to frantically plunder. Who would get the most? Based on their own abilities. Seeing Lin Feng summon so many creatures to devour the energy, Grandmother Witch Ancestor, Child Ghost Mountain, and Su Wanqing's faces turned green. Their speed of devouring the energy was far slower than Lin Feng's. Now that Lin Feng had summoned so many strange creatures to devour the energy, the amount of energy they could obtain was even less. However, Grandmother Witch Ancestor and the others did not dare to provoke Lin Feng. Rumble! 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 At this moment, a loud noise shook the sky. In the void, an incomparably huge vortex appeared. The aura of the 9 heavens god cauldron! A cry of surprise came from the vortex. Then, a terrifying aura that made the gods tremble surged out of the vortex. After feeling the aura, everyone's face changed slightly. Go, go, go! The people of that world have sensed the aura of the 9 heavens god cauldron. The demon lord's voice echoed in Lin Feng's mind. Lin Feng was shocked. He hurriedly sent Bibi and the others into the time-space. Following this, Lin Feng looked at the female ghost Celestial and Wan Lingwei and said in a low voice, "Hurry up and leave, we can't stay here for long." The female ghost, Immortal Yuan Lingwei, nodded. Lin Feng teleported to the top of the altar and took down the skeleton of the female ghost Immortal. Then, he quickly left with the female ghost Immortal and Wan Lingwei. Grandma Wu and the others didn't dare to stay any longer and quickly left. Whoosh! A beam of light shot out of the twisting vortex and wrapped around the nine heavens god cauldron. Then, Jiutian Sheiji disappeared without a trace, and the huge energy whirlpool also disappeared. After Lin Feng and the other two arrived outside, they heaved a sigh of relief. After they came out, Grandma Wu, Elder Gui Shan, and Su Wanqing rushed out as well. The three of them didn't stop and quickly flew into the distance. By the time Lin Feng came back to his senses, the three of them were already very far away. It wouldn't be easy to catch up to them, so Lin Feng didn't chase after them. The nine heavens god cauldron should have been taken, the demon lord said. Hearing this, Lin Feng was finally able to breathe a sigh of relief. Following this, Lin Feng became happy. He had gained a lot this time because he had devoured a lot of energy rivers. He would refine them later and see if they could increase his cultivation. Lin Feng looked at Wan Lingwei and asked, "What do you plan to do next, Fairy?" Wan Lingwei said, "I still have some things to take care of, so I won't stay here any longer." Lin Feng said, "All right, then we'll part ways here. Be careful when you're alone." "All right, you too, young master," Wan Lingwei said. Then Wan Lingwei left. The female ghost immortal followed Lin Feng to Lin Feng's residence, and went into seclusion to cultivate. After arriving at Lin Feng's residence, the female ghost immortal felt very emotional. The female ghost immortal wanted to devour Lin Feng's primordial yang energy. Now that she was here, she had regained her freedom and seemed to have become friends with Lin Feng. Life. Sometimes, it was really strange. Lin Feng returned to his room and went into seclusion. The female ghost immortal could go into seclusion anywhere she wanted. After all, there were so many rooms. Lin Feng began to refine and absorb the special energy. Lin Feng's cultivation had stopped at the sixth heavenly layer of the human immortal stage for some time now. He didn't know what level his cultivation would stop at after refining the special energy. In fact, Lin Feng knew that it would be difficult for him to make breakthroughs. Therefore, Lin Feng didn't dare to think about breaking through many levels at once. If he could break through 1 or 2 levels, Lin Feng would be satisfied. However, whether he could break through 1 or 2 levels was hard to say. Lin Feng would have to wait until he finished refining all the energy. As the special energy was refined by Lin Feng could clearly feel that his level was constantly improving. This made Lin Feng very happy. After about 3 days, Lin Feng finally broke through from the 6th heavenly layer of the human immortal stage to the 7th heavenly layer of the human immortal stage. However, this was just the beginning because Lin Feng still had a lot of powerful energy in his body. Time continued to pass. Lin Feng continued to refine the special energy. In the next month, Lin Feng's cultivation had been steadily improving. He broke through from the 7th heavenly layer of the human immortal stage to the 8th heavenly layer of the human immortal stage. Then, he broke through from the 8th heavenly layer of the human immortal stage to the 9th heavenly layer of the human immortal stage. Then, he broke through from the 9th heavenly layer of the human immortal stage to the 10th heavenly layer of the human immortal stage. It wasn't until he broke through to the 10th heavenly layer of the human immortal stage that the special energy in Lin Feng's body completely dispersed. This made Lin Feng very surprised. Originally, Lin Feng would be extremely satisfied if he could break through 1 or 2 levels. However, this breakthrough, it brought him a lot of surprises. He actually broke through 4 levels at once. This was really something to be surprised about. The next step was to try to break through to the Earth Immortal stage. However, it was more difficult to break through to the Earth Immortal stage. Lin Feng was also very clear about this. For Lin Feng, breaking through to the Earth Immortal stage often required the help of some heavenly treasures or some great opportunities. Of course, now that he had just broken through 4 levels, Lin Feng was not in a hurry to break through to the Earth Immortal stage. He needed to consolidate his cultivation during this period of time. Chapter 5138. After Lin Feng came out of seclusion, the female ghost immortal had also come out. As for Bibi and the others, they were still in seclusion. He hoped that they could also use the special energy from the 9 heavens and earth cauldron to make a breakthrough. Where do you want to bury the bones of your previous life? Lin Feng looked at the female ghost immortal and said, Let's bury it in the wilderness outside. The female ghost immortal said. Lin Feng nodded and left with the female ghost immortal. Lin Feng found a place with good feng shui for the female ghost immortal. Then, he buried the bones of her previous life. Lin Feng followed the female ghost immortal's request and set up a stone tablet for her previous life's bones. However, he only set up a simple stone tablet. On the stone tablet, there was nothing written. This was also the request of the female ghost immortal. Lin Feng walked into the distance. The female ghost immortal sat in front of the grave and started crying. Perhaps, she was crying for the fate of her previous life. After the female ghost immortal finished crying, she came to Lin Feng's side. Then, he said, I'm leaving. Where are you going? Heaven realm or the underworld? Lin Feng asked. To the heaven realm, but now that the world has changed, the passageway that connected to the heaven realm has disappeared. I don't know how to go to the heaven realm now, so I plan to go to the underworld first, and then find the passageway to the heaven realm in the underworld. The female ghost immortal said. Lin Feng said, This is indeed a good method, but before you go to the heaven realm, you have to be fully prepared. As the supreme world, the heaven realm is the best place to restrain the creatures of the underworld. That place is very harmful to your body, so even if you go there, you can't stay in the heaven realm for too long. I know, thank you for your reminder. I will not forget your great kindness, the female ghost immortal said. Then, she left. Lin Feng stood alone in the forest. Go back and see if Pei Yingjuan's 9 heaven thunder source pearl has been researched. Lin Feng couldn't help but mutter to himself. He didn't stay any longer and quickly flew towards the ancient city. Lin Feng came back and saw Wu Kun. Wu Kun didn't know what happened before. He was puzzled as to why Lao Wu Tu and the others suddenly disappeared. Now that he saw Lin Feng, Wu Kun was very happy. He ran to Lin Feng and asked him. Lin Feng told him that he didn't know either. Wu Kun nodded and left. Perhaps the best choice was not to let him know some things. Wu Kun was just a very ordinary person. In that case, let him continue to live an ordinary life. Lin Feng still didn't know who the 5th person was. He didn't see that person from the beginning to the end. Of course, Lin Feng didn't care who that person was. Lin Feng came to Pei Yingjuan's place. He admired Pei Yingjun. With Pei Yingjuan's strength, he should have sensed what happened in the underground world. However, Pei Yingjun didn't check it out because he put all his energy into researching the 9 heaven thunder source pearl. He was obsessed with it to the point of madness. Want to succeed? Go crazy first. That was Pei Yingjuan's life motto. When Lin Feng came to Pei Yingjuan's place, Pei Yingjuan's cheers came from the room. I did it, ha 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 ha, I finally researched it. Pei Yingjun couldn't help but laugh. He was so excited that he went crazy. Pei Yingjun sensed Lin Feng outside. He opened the door and rushed out. He grabbed Lin Feng's shoulder and shouted excitedly. Brother, I did it, did you know? I finally did it! The 9 heaven thunder source pearl was successfully researched. Your 200 million immortal stones weren't spent in vain. Lin Feng was naturally very happy. The 9 heaven thunder source pearl was very powerful. If they could mass produce it, it would be very important for Lin Feng. Congratulations, you are destined to leave your mark in the history of alchemy, Lin Feng said with a smile. Lin Feng said with a smile. Ha ha, of course, who am I? A handsome and confident man destined to leave a mark in history, Pei Yingjun said proudly. This guy's skin was really thick. Lin Feng had to concede defeat. Lin Feng asked, How did you make such a breakthrough? Pei Yingjun laughed and said, After I had the money, I changed a few materials and succeeded. Lin Feng said, So, if you want to succeed, you need to use some good materials. Fortunately, everything went smoothly. Pei Yingjun said, Expensive materials have their benefits. I'm going to collect thunder source pearls now. Are you interested in coming with me? Lin Feng happened to have nothing to do. Following Pei Jun to collect Thunder Source Pearls was quite a good thing. Moreover, with one more person, they would be able to collect more Thunder Source Pearls and refine more 9 Heaven Thunder Source Pearls. Lin Feng said, "Of course, I'm interested. Let's go now." Pei Jun nodded and set off with Lin Feng to collect Thunder Source Pearls. Thunder Source Pearls were usually things that appeared in lightning seas. However, the power of the Thunder Source Pearls that appeared in different lightning seas were different. The stronger the Thunder Source Pearls were, the more powerful the 9 Heaven Thunder Source Pearls would be. Generally speaking, the Thunder Source Pearls in the lightning seas formed by rain were the weakest. The stronger Thunder Source Pearls were the Thunder Source Pearls that appeared in the lightning tribulations of some fierce beasts. Above that was the Thunder Source Pearls that appeared in the lightning seas when cultivators were undergoing their tribulations. The stronger the cultivator, the stronger the lightning tribulations. Then, the stronger the Thunder Source Pearls in the lightning seas would be. Therefore, the Thunder Source Lin Feng was looking for was the Thunder Source Pearls that appeared when cultivators were undergoing their tribulations. He and Pei Jun flew quickly in the air. It was not rare for cultivators to undergo their tribulations, and it was common to see cultivators undergoing their tribulations in the mountains. However, it was rare to see a tribulation that could satisfy them. This required them to be patient and search for it. And after finding that kind of tribulation, they also needed to be careful, because once they entered someone else's lightning tribulation, they would very likely be attacked by someone else's lightning tribulation. If he was attacked by someone else's thunder tribulation, there was a certain probability that his own thunder tribulation would also be attracted. If the thunder tribulation was attracted before it was time to cross the tribulation, this was an extremely terrifying and terrible thing. The slightest carelessness could lead to a tragic end. After flying for 10 days in the forest, Lin Feng finally saw an incomparably huge sea of lightning in the distance. Within the sea of lightning, thunder dragons and lightning snakes swam in the air. There were top experts undergoing their tribulations. Chapter 5139. There were many cultivators at the edge of the tribulation. These cultivators were just there to watch the show, but Lin Feng noticed that they were all from the same faction. Perhaps they were from the same faction as the cultivator undergoing the tribulation and had followed him to undergo the tribulation. That way, they would be able to immediately know if the cultivator from their faction had succeeded. "Be careful, the tribulation is very dangerous. You must suppress your cultivation with all your might, and don't let the tribulation attract your own tribulation," Pei Jun reminded him. It was rare for him to be so serious. Lin Feng nodded and said, "You be careful too," Pei Jun said. "Don't worry about me, I'll be fine." When they flew closer, they saw a middle-aged cultivator undergoing the tribulation. The cultivator was very powerful, and he was probably breaking through from the virtual immortal realm to the Tao immortal realm. Lin Feng and Pei Jun's arrival attracted a lot of attention. When they saw Lin Feng and Pei Jun flying towards the lightning ocean, they couldn't help but point at them. In their opinion, they were simply courting death. Even the cultivator undergoing the tribulation couldn't help but glance at Lin Feng and Pei Jun, not knowing what the two were up to. Lin Feng and Pei Jun entered the lightning ocean. Endless lightning surged within the ocean, emitting a terrifying power that made one's heart palpitate. Facing the surging lightning, anyone would feel their heart palpitate. When Lin Feng and Pei Jun arrived, a large amount of lightning energy rushed towards them. They had to dodge the lightning energy in a wretched manner. Because there was too much lightning energy, it was unrealistic to completely dodge it. When the lightning energy struck his body, Lin Feng noticed that the tribulation light between his eyebrows was constantly growing stronger. When the tribulation light accumulated to a certain degree, when that time came, the tribulation would completely erupt. "I can't let the lightning strike me," Lin Feng couldn't help but mutter to himself. He released his domineering magnetic field. 4 domineering magnetic fields overlapped, enveloping Lin Feng and Pei Jun. When the lightning struck, it was blocked by Lin Feng's domineering magnetic field. "Damn, what kind of technique is this? How can it be so powerful?" Pei Jun immediately exclaimed. Lin Feng said. A magnetic field formed by the condensed domineering force. Pei Jun said in shock. You're still the best. Not even 1 in a billion people can condense a domineering force, but you condensed a domineering magnetic field. This technique is really terrifying. It's just luck. Lin Feng smiled. Then, he and Pei Jun continued forward. They rushed towards the center of the Sea of Lightning. When they reached the periphery of the center, Lin Feng noticed that the lightning in the center had passed through Lin Feng's domineering magnetic field and was rushing towards him and Pei Jun. The lightning in the center had become even more powerful. 4 domineering magnetic fields couldn't withstand it. Lin Feng didn't use 12 domineering magnetic fields because it required the pure ones transforming into 3 pure ones. The duration of the pure ones transforming into 3 pure ones wasn't very long. If he used it, he could use it during the crucial moment of collecting the lightning essence. However, 4 domineering magnetic fields wasn't the limit of Lin Feng's domineering force. The limit was 5 domineering magnetic fields. Lin Feng cultivated 5 domineering forces: Sovereign Domineering Force, White Tiger Domineering Force, Azure Dragon Domineering Force, Epic Domineering Force, and Highest World Destroying Domineering Force. Lin Feng had used 5 domineering magnetic fields in a battle before, but Lin Feng discovered that he couldn't control them perfectly. This was mainly because his cultivation wasn't high enough. Controlling 5 domineering magnetic fields by himself was difficult, so Lin Feng used 4 domineering magnetic fields. But now, Lin Feng's cultivation was much higher than before. Therefore, Lin Feng felt that he should be able to control 5 domineering magnetic fields now. So, Lin Feng began to operate the 5 domineering magnetic fields. Sure enough, as Lin Feng imagined, when Lin Feng operated the 5 domineering magnetic fields, the strenuous feeling disappeared. However, Lin Feng wasn't very familiar with the 5 domineering magnetic fields. So, when Lin Feng operated the 5 domineering magnetic fields, he still felt unfamiliar. As the saying goes, practice makes perfect. As time passed, and as the number of times he used it increased, it would be easier for him to operate the 5 domineering magnetic fields. After completely mastering the 5 domineering magnetic fields, Lin Feng could operate the 1 qi into 3 pure ones. At most, he could display 15 domineering magnetic fields. However, Lin Feng knew that such a method required time to complete the transformation. It wasn't something that could be done overnight. Damn it, how many domineering magnetic fields have you cultivated? Pei Jun looked at Lin Feng enviously. With his cultivation, he could naturally sense Lin Feng's situation. Lin Feng stacked a new domineering magnetic field. This shocked Pei Jun. Lin Feng seemed to have cultivated too many domineering magnetic fields. Other people who cultivated even 1 domineering magnetic field were blessed by their ancestors. Lin Feng actually cultivated so many domineering magnetic fields. What a waste of money. Comparisons were odious. Lin Feng said. Not many, not many. Just 5. Hearing Lin Feng's humble words, Pei Jun felt his teeth ache. He had the urge to slap Lin Feng to death. Under the protection of the 5 domineering magnetic fields, Lin Feng and Pei Jun quickly rushed towards the Thunder Mother. Do you see that? That's the Thunder Mother. Pei Jun only thought of the core area, where there was a distorted purple ball of lightning. That twisted purple lightning ball should be the Lightning Mother. Lin Feng said. The Thunder Mother's aura seems to be very violent. How can we take it away? Pei Jun said. You'll need a special treasure to take it away. As soon as he finished speaking, Pei Jun took out something that looked like a chamber pot. Isn't that a chamber pot? Lin Feng rolled his eyes. Pei Jun said. This is the thunder extraction pot that I refined. Lin Feng was speechless. Pei Jun really had a wicked sense of humor. Because this guy actually forged such an extraordinary treasure into the shape of a chamber pot. Those who didn't know would definitely think that it was a chamber pot. Lin Feng held the thunder extraction pot in his hand and asked, How do I use this? Pei Jun said. Once activated, it can automatically absorb the Thunder Mother. Chapter 5140. Of course, he couldn't absorb the Thunder Mother yet because he was still quite a distance away from the location of the Thunder Mother. They had to reach the edge of the Lightning Mother before they could try to absorb it. But it wasn't easy. The lightning in the last part of the journey was even more violent. Lin Feng's 5-layered magnetic field couldn't withstand it any longer. But Lin Feng still had 12 layers of domineering magnetic fields. Lin Feng used his 1 qi into 3 pure ones and the 2 clones went back into his body. But that didn't stop Lin Feng from using his 12-fold domineering magnetic field. After Lin Feng used the 12-fold domineering magnetic field, it enveloped him and Pei Ying-jun. Pei Ying-jun was completely numb after feeling the power of the 12-fold domineering magnetic field. Now, no matter what Lin Feng did, he wouldn't be shocked anymore. Lin Feng and Pei Ying-jun arrived at the edge of the Lightning Mother under the protection of the 12-fold domineering magnetic field. Pei Ying-jun took out a lightning extraction pot and activated it to absorb the Lightning Mother. Lin Feng activated the lightning extraction pot in his hand. When Lin Feng's spiritual energy entered the lightning extraction pot, the lightning extraction pot released a powerful devouring force. An endless stream of Lightning Mother was quickly absorbed by the lightning extraction pot. Lin Feng smiled. These Lightning Mothers were 9 heavenly lightning pearls. Lin Feng had the impression that he could take out hundreds of thunder pearls at the same time. At that time, he would kill gods and Buddhas. That's how willful we are. Lin Feng and Pei Ying-jun used the lightning extraction pot to absorb all the Lightning Mother. The two of them quickly left. Damn, look! Those 2 guys are coming out! Someone pointed at Lin Feng and Pei Ying-jun. Many people initially thought that Lin Feng and Pei Ying-jun were going to die in the ocean of thunder, but Lin Feng and Pei Ying-jun were completely fine. They were astonished. Who the hell are those 2 guys? What are they doing in the lightning ocean? Some people couldn't help but mutter. They were very confused about why Lin Feng and Pei Ying-jun went into the lightning ocean. No matter what their goal is, their cultivation must be terrifying. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to come out alive, another cultivator said. The others nodded. He also agreed with this point of view. After Lin Feng and Pei Ying-jun left, they continued searching for Lightning Mother. Lin Feng and Pei Ying-jun, they went to many places. After searching for enough Thunder Mothers, Yi Zichen decided to leave. Lin Feng and Pei Ying-jun went back to the ancient city. Pei Ying-jun didn't stop there, he immediately went to make the 9 Thunder Source Pearl. Lin Feng. Half a month later, Pei Ying-jun came out. How many pearls did you make? Asked Lin Feng to Pei Ying-jun. That's great. Lin Feng clenched his fists. 1,209 Heaven Thunder Source Pearls. With so many 9 Heavenly Thunder Source Pearls being used together, just how terrifying would their power be? Even with Lin Feng's experience, he couldn't help but feel his hair stand on end. Pei Ying-jun gave Lin Feng 1,200 Thunder Pearls and said, These 9 Thunder Pearls are very similar to talismans. Now you can use these 9 Thunder Pearls to refine them. If you want to use the 9 Heavenly Lightning Source Pearls against your enemies, you just have to pour your Fa Li into the pearls and release them. Okay. Lin Feng nodded. He put the pearls away and said, I'll buy them for 1 million each. 1,200 of them will be 1.2 billion immortal stones. Lin Feng waved his hand. 12 rivers of immortal stones flew out, and Lin Feng sealed them in an energy ball. Pei Ying-jun rubbed his hands and said, Then I'll accept them. Of course. Lin Feng nodded. Pei Ying-jun was very happy and excited after accepting the 1.2 billion immortal stones. His hard work all these years hadn't been in vain. Lin Feng said, Why don't you follow me from now on? Follow you? Pei Ying-jun looked at Lin Feng. Lin Feng nodded. I can give you all kinds of resources and celestial stones. You can study all kinds of things. When you're done, I'll buy them from you at a high price, said Lin Feng, nodding. I'm used to being free, Pei Ying-jun said. Said Lin Feng. I won't restrict your freedom. On the contrary, I'll protect you. You created the 9 Heavenly Thunder Source Pearl, and even though only the 2 of us know about it, there are many strange people in the world. They might be able to calculate it. When the time comes, many influential groups will try to steal it from you. It'll be a disaster for you, but if you work for me, you'll be safe. Hee hee, now that you mention it, I think so too. Alright, I'll agree. Pei Ying-jun grinned. Lin Feng smiled after hearing Pei Ying-jun's answer. Pei Ying-jun was a genius. In this society, people like him were hard to come by. A top alchemist was extremely important to a great power. For example, Pei Ying-jun could create something as terrifying as the 9 heavenly thunder source pearl. He could also create other terrifying things, which could transform a great power. Therefore, to be able to recruit Pei Ying-jun was a great thing for Lin Feng. Lin Feng told Pei Ying-jun his identity. Pei Ying-jun was startled and said, "I've guessed your true identity before. I also guessed that you were that person from the Sin realm. But I wasn't sure. Now I've finally confirmed that you're that person. No wonder you have so many terrifying methods." Lin Feng smiled and said, "There are too few top experts in the younger generation. If there were more, it wouldn't be easy to guess my identity." Pei Ying-jun said, "There will be more." Lin Feng nodded and wrote a letter of recommendation for Pei Ying-jun. Lin Feng told Pei Ying-jun to give it to his ancestor, Wang Mingchuan. If Wang Mingchuan saw this letter, he would make arrangements for Pei Ying-jun. Chapter 51-41. Pei Ying-jun went to the Sin realm while Lin Feng went to Sky Water City. Sky Water City was one of the 10 ancient cities in the Sky Water realm. It had a long history and was controlled by the Tian clan a long time ago. The Tian clan was quite mysterious. No one knew where their ancestral ground was. The only way to contact the Tian clan was through the Tian clan in the Sky Water realm. Rumor had it that the Tian clan in Sky Water City was an outer circle of the Tian clan. However, Lin Feng didn't know if this was true or not. Lin Feng sat cross-legged on the head of the 3-headed viper and closed his eyes to rest. The 3-headed viper flapped its wings and flew towards Sky Water City. Half a month later, Lin Feng saw Sky Water City lying on the horizon. It was huge like a primordial beast resting on the ground. It exuded an oppressive aura as heavy as a mountain. Cultivators from all directions were heading towards the city. Some flew by themselves while others rode mounts like Lin Feng. Others took flying ships. These cultivators stopped outside Tianshui City. When they arrived at Tianshui City, they could only choose to walk. They could no longer take airships or mounts. Of course, rules were dead, while people were alive. The rules of Tianshui City were only for ordinary cultivators. For those powerful cultivators or the children of aristocratic families, these rules were like empty words. They could not restrain those people at all. However, if ordinary cultivators dared to violate these rules at will, naturally, they would not have a good ending. There was already a long queue outside the city. Entering the city required an entrance fee of 10 pieces. Countless cultivators entered the city every day, so the entrance fee collected by the city was extremely shocking. After entering the city, Lin Feng saw a cultivator in front of him. Lin Feng was slightly surprised. Qin Mubai. It turned out to be this person. Lin Feng had met Qin Mubai a few times in the past. This was an old friend of the Sky Martial continent. Lin Feng still remembered the time when they went to the Eternal Demon Mountain and encountered the blood moon rising in the sky. Their group was drawn into the land of death. At that time, Lin Feng met up with Zishao and the others. It was Zishao who saved Lin Feng. Lin Feng would never forget this kindness. Zishao had a treasure. It was a golden Buddha that could scare away some of the dangers in the land of death. However, not long after Zishao took out the golden Buddha, Zishao was killed and his golden Buddha was taken away. Before Zishao died, he asked Lin Feng to promise to take care of his sister Zilinger. Naturally, Lin Feng wouldn't refuse Zishao's last request. Later, Lin Feng found Zilinger. However, after Zilinger awakened the mysterious Yin Witch bloodline, she was taken away by the Geomaster faction. Later, Lin Feng chased her all the way to the 9 continents. He even found the backer of the Geomaster faction, the Huangdao clan. It was all to find Zilinger. However, Zilinger was taken away by two mysterious men wearing bamboo hats. Since then, Lin Feng had completely lost track of Zilinger. Lin Feng had always felt guilty about this matter. He hoped to find Zilinger. However, after so many years, there were no clues about Zilinger. In addition, Lin Feng also wanted to find Zi Zhao's murderer. At that time, there were many cultivators involved in the Land of Death. However, there were not many people who could kill Zi Zhao silently. In the beginning, Lin Feng had suspected Saber Lord. However, it was later proven that it wasn't Saber Lord. Therefore, there were only a few people left that Lin Feng suspected. One was Qin Mubai, one was Jin Yichen, and the other was Ji Mingtian. Fairy Mengxian also seemed to be a suspect. However, she was the least suspicious. This was because Fairy Mengxian had an unconcealable fragrance on her body. It could be smelled from far away. However, when Zishao was in trouble, Lin Feng didn't smell Fairy Mengxian's fragrance. As a result, the three people most likely to kill Zishao and steal his treasure were Qin Mubai, Ji Nichen, and Ji Mingtian. Ji Mingtian was Ji Yuhan's brother. Lin Feng knew a little about Ji Mingtian's character from Ji Yuhan. For example, when he was 16 years old, Ji Mingtian went out to train. He once found a corpse in a nameless cave. After discovering the identity of the corpse, Ji Mingtian took the corpse's storage ring and then crossed several regions to return the storage ring to the deceased's family. It could be seen that Ji Mingtian's character was extremely good. As for Ji Mingtian, he was a prince of the great Zhou Empire. What kind of treasure did he not have? Therefore, the possibility of Ji Mingtian killing Zi Zhao and stealing his treasure was relatively small. Then only Ji Nichen and Qin Mubai were left. Later, due to the upheaval in the Tianwu continent, Qin Mubai and Ji Nichen also disappeared without a trace. Therefore, Lin Feng's investigation was stopped. Until now, Lin Feng hadn't found Zi Zhao's murderer. But now, Lin Feng saw Qin Mubai. This made Lin Feng very surprised and also made Lin Feng very happy. Perhaps he could find out some things from Qin Mubai. If the murderer wasn't Qin Mubai, then it was very likely to be Ji Nichen. Lin Feng quickly walked over. He caught up with Qin Mubai and then shouted, "Brother Qin!" Qin Mubai heard someone calling him and stopped. He turned his head to look at Lin Feng. Immediately, he revealed a puzzled expression. When Lin Feng and Qin Mubai met that year, he was only 16 or 17 years old. His appearance had changed quite a bit compared to now. Furthermore, the two of them hadn't seen each other for over 100 years. When Qin Mubai saw Lin Feng again, he indeed didn't recognize who Lin Feng was. "You are?" Qin Mubai looked at Lin Feng suspiciously. "It seems that Brother Qin has forgotten about me. I am Lin Feng of the Tianwu continent," Lin Feng said. "It's actually you." Qin Mubai was extremely shocked. The Tianwu continent belonged to the 9 continents' great world. Now, everyone knew that the master of Sin domain was Lin Feng, who had ascended from the 9 continents' great world. Furthermore, this Lin Feng was the son of Lin Beiqian. It was just that Qin Mubai didn't know if this Lin Feng in front of him was the Lin Feng of Sin domain. The reason why he couldn't be sure was because there were many people called Lin Feng. Especially after the rise of the Sinner's Blood Emperor, many people even changed their names to Lin Feng. And that Lin Feng of the Tianwu continent was indeed a genius. However, Qin Mubai remembered that the Lin Feng of the Tianwu continent came from a small family. Could such a small family have produced a peerless expert like Lin Beiqian? Qin Mubai didn't think that such a small clan could have such a strong cultivator like Lin Baitian. If such a strong cultivator had appeared in such a small clan, how could Lin Feng's clan be so weak? Chapter 51-42. Qin Mubai's lack of understanding of Lin Feng was understandable. After all, Qin Mubai had left as soon as the martial heaven continent fell into chaos. There were many things about Lin Feng that he didn't know, and he didn't know much about Lin Feng either. As for Lin Feng's family, he knew even less. After all, Qin Mubai had come from a major power, so he naturally didn't know much about Lin Feng's family. Lin Feng's father had left the martial heaven continent to train in his teens. Lin Feng's father's reputation was mainly in the undying world, not the martial heaven continent. In the undying world, everyone knew who Lin Beitian was, but in the martial heaven continent, everyone was confused. Who was this Lin Beitian? Qin Mubai didn't think that this Lin Feng was the Sinner Blood Emperor, Lin Feng. However, Qin Mubai still wanted to ask. He wanted to confirm it. "Brother Lin, are you the Sinner Blood Emperor in the Sin Realm?" asked Qin Mubai. Lin Feng also realized that Qin Mubai didn't know his true identity. In that case, there was no need for him to confess everything to Qin Mubai. However, Lin Feng didn't directly deny it. Sometimes doing so would have the opposite effect. Lin Feng said, "Yes, I'm the Sinner Blood Emperor, Lin Feng." "What? You're the Sinner Blood Emperor, Lin Feng?" Before Qin Mubai could say anything, the cultivators passing by couldn't help exclaiming. "Fuck, would the Sinner Blood Emperor tell others on the street that he's the Sinner Blood Emperor?" Another cultivator looked at Lin Feng with disdain. Someone else said, "If you want to brag, why would the Sinner Blood Emperor come to the Skywater Realm when the Sinner Blood Emperor is so far away? Even if the Sinner's Blood Emperor came to the Tianshui region, a major figure like him would definitely have many experts following him." "Where are your experts?" Lin Feng rolled his eyes and said, "It's none of your business. If there's nothing else, go away. You must be furious after being exposed, right? I've seen plenty of people like you. Brother, let me tell you, don't be tricked by this guy. There are a lot of swindlers these days. I met a swindler a while ago, and that swindler told me that he was the nephew of the Heavenly Emperor. His storage ring was stolen by someone, and he didn't have the money to take the cross-domain space-time passage to the Heavenly Court. Thus, he lent me 1,000 immortal stones and thanked me heavily when I returned. I didn't fall for that guy's trick. In my opinion, this guy is the same as the person I met before." Cough, cough. "I was just joking. Is there a need to be so serious?" Lin Feng said. "Everyone, let's disperse. We've known each other for many years. That was just a joke," Qin Mubai said. F***ck, what a waste of our time. The group of people couldn't help but be speechless. Then, they quickly dispersed. Qin Mubai looked at Lin Feng and asked, "Brother Lin, when did you come to the undying world?" Lin Feng said, "It's been a few years." "How about you, Brother Qin? When did you come to the undying world?" Qin Mubai said, "I've been here for more than 130 years. Brother Qin, where are you working now?" Lin Feng asked. Qin Mubai smiled bitterly. "Not really, but there are some things that aren't convenient to talk about here. How about we find a quiet place to talk?" "All right, it's my treat," Lin Feng said. Qin Mubai said, "This is my territory. There's no need for Brother Lin to treat me. I'll be the host today." Qin Mubai brought Lin Feng to a restaurant called Idle Gathering House. The owner of Idle Gathering House was a young woman who looked to be in her 30s. Her looks were ordinary, but her figure was not bad. She personally brought Qin Mubai and Lin Feng to a private room. Lin Feng entered the room first, and found a place to sit. Lin Feng raised his eyebrows slightly, because he sensed that Qin Mubai and the young woman were getting intimate outside. Lin Feng couldn't help but whisper to himself. Qin Mubai was handsome and talented. He could have any woman he wanted. Surprisingly, he was with that young woman. That young woman was too mediocre and mediocre. Lin Feng couldn't help but be surprised. They only had a simple moment of intimacy before the young woman left. Qin Mubai entered the private room, and before long, someone brought food and wine. Lin Feng and Qin Mubai drank one cup after another. As they chatted, Lin Feng learned that after Qin Mubai and his family left the Tianwu continent, they had experienced countless dangers on their way to the undying world. After arriving at the undying world, most of the family members had died. After arriving at the undying world, they were unlucky and encountered a great battle between experts. They were affected, and the last few dozen of their family members died miserably. Only Qin Mubai was lucky enough to survive. Later on, Qin Mubai managed to pass the recruitment test of the Shui clan of the Tianshui region by chance and became an ordinary guard of the Shui clan of the Tianshui region. When Qin Mubai was in the Tianwu continent, he was a peerless genius on par with the little Peking. Thus, his talent was very powerful. Thus, after his life settled down and he was able to obtain a certain amount of cultivation resources every month, Qin Mubai's cultivation advanced by leaps and bounds. Thus, Qin Mubai quickly stood out. The Shui family felt that Qin Mubai was a talent, so they decided to properly nurture him. After all, Qin Mubai and the Shui family did not have any relationship. The Shui family was worried that Qin Mubai would grow up and leave the Shui family. Thus, they decided to recruit Qin Mubai as their son-in-law. However, many young ladies of the Shui family looked down on Qin Mubai, who was born as a rogue cultivator. Even if Qin Mubai's talent was not bad, those young ladies of the big family still looked down on Qin Mubai. However, at this time, a young lady of the Shui family actually gave birth to a child before marriage. This young lady's reputation was not very good. It was said that she had an affair with many men, and it was unknown who she was pregnant with. This kind of thing was too shameful. The Shui family wanted to find someone to win over this young lady, and then tell the world that this man was actually in love with the young lady of the Shui family. Furthermore, they were already engaged. Now, they were going to get married. This way, they could still save some face. Coincidentally, the Shui family wanted to recruit Qin Mubai as their son-in-law. Thus, they wanted to marry this young lady to Qin Mubai. No matter how down and out Qin Mubai was, he was still a talented and handsome young man. How could he not agree to this kind of marriage? Qin Mubai wanted to reject, but the moment he revealed his intentions, he could feel the killing intent from the Shui clan members. Qin Mubai knew that if he dared to refuse, the Shui family would definitely kill him. Qin Mubai did not want to die, so Qin Mubai swallowed his anger and agreed to this matter. This matter was not a secret in Sky Water City, so Qin Mubai told Lin Feng about it. He had already become the laughingstock of countless people in Sky Water City. After Lin Feng heard about Qin Mubai's experience, he couldn't help but sigh. Qin Mubai's life was also very sad. He was not even married, but he was already a father. If this kind of thing happened to anyone, they would not be able to endure it. However, Qin Mubai endured it. It was clear that Qin Mubai was not a simple person. Chapter 51-43. After knowing what had happened to Qin Mubai, Lin Feng could roughly guess what Qin Mubai's life would be like in the future. Qin Mubai, who had become a father, would naturally not feel happy about this matter. In addition, his nominal wife was a fickle woman. So, Qin Mubai had been very happy all these years. Moreover, he was a son-in-law who married into a family. In the world of cultivators, the status of a son-in-law who married into a family was not particularly high. In fact, it was not just the world of cultivators. Even in the secular world, or in any other world, the status of a son-in-law who married into a family was not particularly high. If there was a way, who would choose to marry into a family? So, Qin Mubai had also suffered a lot in the Shui family these past few years. Qin Mubai naturally needed to find a safe harbor. In this kind of harbor, Qin Mubai could feel the warmth that he had not felt for a long time. Thus, the appearance of this woman in Jixian restaurant gave Qin Mubai a bit of comfort. From this woman, Qin Mubai felt the dignity of a man. Although this woman was not beautiful, Qin Mubai did not care about that. Thus, Qin Mubai and this woman definitely had true love. Brother, let me tell you, no matter how bad your life is in the future, don't be like me and marry into someone else's family. It's really not a life for humans to live, to be looked down upon, to be ridiculed, to have no dignity, to live like a dog, but what can I do? I can't resist, because if I resist I will die. I still miss the time when I was in the Sky Martial continent. At that time, I had a beautiful face and a happy life. Qin Mubai was already drunk. He was reminiscing about the past. Back then, Qin Mubai was the top genius of the Sky Martial continent. What a carefree life that was. But that was already a thing of the past. There was no way to go back. Lin Feng couldn't help but sigh. Life was really a bitch. It actually tortured the proud son of heaven to such a state. But perhaps this was life. Everyone's life trajectory was different. Everything will be fine, Lin Feng said. Yes, everything will be fine. I hope so, Qin Mubai said. He picked up his wine cup and continued to drink. Qin Mubai was very drunk. Lin Feng felt that now was the best time to ask Qin Mubai about what happened back then. Lin Feng asked, Brother Qin, do you still remember what happened in the primordial demon mountains? Of course I remember. The blood moon rose into the sky and everyone was sucked into the land of death, Qin Mubai said drunkenly. It was really dangerous back then. Luckily, I managed to escape. But now that I think about it, it would have been better if I had died in there. At least I would have died with dignity, unlike now, where I'm living like a coward. Do you still remember Zishao? Lin Feng asked. Zishao? Who was he? I can't remember. Qin Mubai shook his head. He used to have a golden Buddha. Lin Feng continued. Qin Mubai said, I really don't remember who this Zishao is. If you're talking about the golden Buddha, I do remember seeing a golden Buddha at Jin Yichen's place. Speaking of which, Qin Mubai lay on the table and fell into a deep sleep. Jin Yichen, Lin Feng's eyes flashed with killing intent. He finally knew who had caused Zi Zhao's death. It was actually Jin Yichen. But where was Jin Yichen now? 2 hours later, Qin Mubai sobered up a little. Sorry, I drank too much. Qin Mubai smiled bitterly at Lin Feng. Lin Feng said, Who hasn't drunk too much at one time? So, there's no need to feel sorry for this. Right, I still remember many old friends from the Martial Heaven continent. One of them was called Jin Yichen. Do you remember him? Of course. Qin Mubai nodded and asked curiously, Brother Lin, why did you mention him? Nothing. I just suddenly remembered some things and people from the Martial Heaven continent, so I was just asking. Do you know where Jin Yichen is? Asked Lin Feng. Qin Mubai shook his head. Back then, when the Martial Heaven continent fell into chaos, many people fled, but I don't know where they fled to. The world is huge, especially the starry sky world. It's boundless. There are many places one can go. Yes. There are many places one can go. But perhaps in the end, everyone will gather in the undying world. After all, the undying world is a cultivation holy land that countless people dream of, said Lin Feng. Qin Mubai nodded. That's right. By the time the two of them left Idle Restaurant, it was already late at night. However, it was still quite lively outside. An ancient city like Tianshui City was originally a city that never slept. Qin Mubai said, It's getting late. I'll take you to find an inn to stay in. There's no need for that. I'll find an inn to stay in. You drank quite a bit as well, so you should go home and rest, said Lin Feng. Qin Mubai said, There's no rush. I'll help you find an inn first before I go back. Seeing Qin Mubai's insistence, Lin Feng nodded. Then, he walked forward with Qin Mubai. Before long, they saw a group of men and women walking out of a restaurant in front of them. There were about 20 of them. When Qin Mubai saw that group of people, his eyes immediately turned red. Lin Feng noticed that Qin Mubai was staring at a man and a woman. The man was wearing a golden robe and looked to be in high spirits. It was obvious that he was an extraordinary cultivator. The two of them were whispering sweet nothings to each other. There was no consideration at all. Lin Feng's heart couldn't help but tremble. Could that person be Qin Mubai's wife? Otherwise, why would Qin Mubai's eyes turn red? It was fine if Qin Mubai couldn't see this kind of thing, but now that Qin Mubai had seen it, Qin Mubai naturally couldn't accept it. Qin Mubai was currently suppressing a ball of fire in his heart. The group of people also seemed to have noticed Qin Mubai and Lin Feng. A group of people walked over. Haha, isn't this the son-in-law of the Shui clan? someone said with a smile. It's really him. He reeks of alcohol. Did you go drinking with girls? Someone else said, looking at Qin Mubai with disdain. These people were most likely disciples of the major powers of Tianshui City. The woman in the golden-clothed man's embrace looked at Qin Mubai with disgust and said, It's the middle of the night, yet you're still wandering around outside. You're making our Shui family lose face. Hurry up and go back. Chapter 5144. The corner of Qin Mubai's mouth twitched violently. He wanted to refute a few words. But the cruel reality. The words that were about to come out of his mouth were all swallowed back into his stomach. How could he refute? After retorting, he would only suffer an even greater humiliation. Lin Feng decided to help Qin Mubai. Because, now, Lin Feng was sure that Qin Mubai was not Zi Zhao's murderer. And Qin Mubai. He was one of his old friends in the Sky Martial Continent. Now, how many of Lin Feng's old friends were there in the Sky Martial Continent? There really weren't many left. If he could lend a helping hand, Lin Feng naturally had to help Qin Mubai. Helping Qin Mubai would offend the Shui family of the Sky Water City? Lin Feng believed that if the Shui family of the Sky Water City knew what was good for them, they would not fall out with him because of a woman who had lost face for their family. If the Shui family of the Sky Water City did not know what was good for them, Lin Feng did not mind causing a ruckus. So what if it was the Shui family of the Sky Water City? The current Lin Feng. His cultivation was powerful. Furthermore, he had 1,209 Heaven Thunder Source Pearl in his possession. Whoever came to destroy him. Lin Feng was that confident. Brother, let's go. Qin Mubai pulled on Lin Feng's clothes, wanting to leave with Lin Feng quickly. He was worried that these people would vent their anger on Lin Feng, and at that time, even Lin Feng would be implicated. In the past, Qin Mubai and Lin Feng didn't know each other very well, but now that they had met in the undying world, they were like old friends. Tears welled up in their eyes. Suddenly, they had become good friends. Qin Mubai naturally did not wish for anything to happen to Lin Feng. However, Qin Mubai was unable to pull Lin Feng away. Lin Feng looked at the woman and said with a smile, As a fickle woman who doesn't even know whose child she is pregnant with, you actually have the nerve to say that others have lost face for your family. How thick is your skin to be able to say such words? Hearing Lin Feng's words, Qin Mubai's face changed. It was over. These were the only words that appeared in Qin Mubai's mind. Then, he was completely stunned on the spot. Lin Feng's words. It was indeed too explosive. Although it sounded very cool and satisfying, it had caused a huge disaster. Therefore, Qin Mubai had no idea what to do next. When the group of people heard Lin Feng's words, they were stunned for a moment before coming back to their senses. Many people were waiting for a good show. The woman who was ridiculed by Lin Feng was so angry that her whole body trembled. He looked at Lin Feng with eyes full of resentment. The golden-robed man's face turned ugly. At this time, Lin Feng looked at the golden-robed man and said, Brother, I think your family background should be quite good. You can be considered a talent. What kind of woman don't you have? Why did you have to hook up with a broken shoe? To be honest, those female cultivators who fell into prostitution were forced to do so, so they came out to take on business. However, the woman beside you took the initiative to seduce others. Her body and soul are not as good as those female cultivators who fell into prostitution. Of course, if you like this kind of thing, then it's a different story. Some people will always be cuckolded. It's understandable. I heard that cuckolding is a genetic mental illness. You'd better go home and do a blood test or something to see if your background is wrong. Brother, I didn't mean to humiliate you by saying this. I'm just concerned about you. I'm worried that you'll recognize a thief as your father. Pfft. After hearing Lin Feng's words, some of the cultivators who were watching the show immediately burst into laughter. Lin Feng's words were too vicious. Anyone who heard Lin Feng's words would probably have the urge to kill someone. Kid, who the F*** are you? Why are you looking for a sense of existence here? Do you have a death wish? The golden-robed man glared fiercely at Lin Feng. His gaze was as if he wanted to eat someone. Lin Feng said, "Don't be so agitated." "Why are you so agitated?" "I don't have any ill intentions." Many people felt that Lin Feng was really shameless. What he said just now didn't have any ill intentions. It was really overflowing with malice. Although Qin Mubai felt very good when he heard Lin Feng scold the couple, he knew that he had really caused a lot of trouble today. He planned to apologize to Lin Feng and hoped that he could forgive him. No matter how high the price was, he would try his best to protect Lin Feng's life. Qin Mubai wanted to speak, but he was stopped by Lin Feng. Said Lin Feng, "I know what you want to say, Brother Qin. Trust me, I can make you live like a real man. You can live with dignity." "Live with dignity? Is that possible?" Qin Mubai couldn't help but smile bitterly. He also wanted to live with dignity. But all of this, it seemed to be something that was impossible to accomplish. Qin Mubai had resisted before, but he had given up in the end. Now, when he saw Lin Feng's encouraging gaze, Qin Mubai's heart once again surged with a rebellious feeling. Live with dignity. He had to live with dignity. He couldn't do it in front of his brothers. He had lost face. Sometimes life was more precious than dignity. But sometimes dignity was more precious than life. Shui Yunxin, remember your status. You're already someone's wife, yet you're still fooling around outside. Do you see those people watching the show? They'll only laugh at you for being a promiscuous woman. They'll only laugh at the Shui clan for having such an embarrassing thing. And Sun Yunxiang, no matter what, you're still a young master of a large clan. You're actually fooling around with such a woman. You've really embarrassed the Sun clan. Today, in front of everyone, I, Qin Mubai, want to announce that I'm divorcing my wife. A slut like her is even worse than a prostitute. How can she be qualified to be my wife?" Qin Mubai had completely exploded. The sullenness, suppression, and anger that had accumulated in his heart all these years were all vented at this moment. Qin Mubai no longer had any scruples. In front of Lin Feng, he had chosen dignity. Perhaps, everything that had happened now would set the stage for his death. But Qin Mubai no longer cared about these things. He wanted to die before he died. He wanted to live with dignity for once. But unfortunately, this time, it seemed that he had implicated Lin Feng. "Brother, in my next life, I'll do anything to repay you." Rip. A sound was heard. Qin Mubai tore off a large piece of his sleeve. Then, he threw it to Shui Yunxin. He said coldly, "A slut like you doesn't have the right to make me write a letter of divorce. Today, cutting off my robe is like divorcing my wife. You've officially been divorced by me. From now on, you and I have nothing to do with each other, and I have nothing to do with your Shui clan." Chapter 5145. I've heard of this Qin Mubai. He's a complete tragedy in the past. Although he's the son-in-law of the Shui clan, everyone knows what kind of woman Shui Yunxin is. Qin Mubai is practically a cuckold. Now, he actually dares to divorce his wife. This is truly inconceivable. Is there something wrong with this guy's head? Divorcing his wife is equivalent to slapping the Shui clan's face. When the time comes, the Shui clan will definitely not let him off. Immediately, a cultivator cried out in shock. When he heard that Qin Mubai had divorced his wife, he still felt a sense of disbelief. Seeing his wife flirt with another man on the street and being humiliated by his wife in front of his friends, no man would be able to take it. After all, Qin Mubai also wants to save face. In the past, he might not have dared to resist because of some misgivings. But now, he no longer has any misgivings. Naturally, he won't be afraid of the other party. Next, a cultivator said, "Once news of Qin Mubai divorcing his wife spreads, it will definitely cause an uproar. When the time comes, the Shui clan won't be the only one to lose face. The Sun clan will also become the focus of public opinion. Who asked Sun Yunxiang to flirt with Shui Yunqing? This guy is really despicable. What kind of woman does he find? Why must he get together with this famous social butterfly? Now, the Sun clan's reputation will probably be ruined. When the time comes, this Sun Yunxiang will definitely be heavily punished. Another cultivator said. The surrounding cultivators were all whispering to each other about this matter. At this moment, Shui Yunqing had already gone mad with anger. Sun Yunxiang's eyes also flashed with dense killing intent. Shui Yunqing pointed at Qin Mubai's nose and cursed. Qin Mubai, you trash! Do you know what you're doing? Who do you think you are? You dare to insult me? Do you believe that I won't let you die without a burial ground? The moment Shui Yunqing finished speaking, Qin Mubai kicked her in the stomach, sending this fickle bitch flying more than 10 meters away. Shui Yunqing fell to the ground and hugged her stomach as she wailed in pain. B*TCH, I don't usually hit women, but a B*TCH like you can't even be considered a woman. I've already F*King divorced you. You can't ride on my head anymore, so you better be polite in front of me, Lin Feng said. Qin Mubai loudly cursed. Fuck, Qin Mubai is a real man. Many cultivators who were watching the show gave Qin Mubai a thumbs up. How could a man let a bitch like Shui Yunqing ride on his head? Qin Mubai's actions really won the hearts of the people. Kill them! Said Sun Yunqiang's voice. The Sun clan was a big clan in Tianshui City. They were extremely strong. Therefore, when they heard Sun Yunqiang's order, they all rushed towards Lin Feng and Qin Mubai like wolves and tigers. Qin Mubai shouted, Brother Lin, I'll stop these people. Hurry up and run. If you manage to escape, burn some incense for me and tell me what happened. If you don't manage to escape, I'll be your slave in my next life to repay you, said Lin Feng. Why would I need to escape? They're just a bunch of trash. Many people were dumbstruck when they heard Lin Feng. Lin Feng had called the young geniuses of Celestial Water City a bunch of small fish. Wasn't that too arrogant? The sky prides of Tianshui City were quite powerful. Brat, you're courting death. Brat, we're going to cut you into 1,000 pieces. The geniuses of Tianshui City all said coldly. Lin Feng had really infuriated them. Let them, they hated Lin Feng to the core. They just wanted to cut Lin Feng into 1,000 pieces. That brat is going to die a horrible death, said one of the cultivators who were watching the show. That was what many people thought. How dare he humiliate the geniuses of Tianshui City? Those geniuses. They wouldn't let it go. Kneel. At that moment, a cold voice rang out. Instantly, the geniuses of Tianshui City who were charging towards Lin Feng and Qin Mubai all knelt on the ground. After seeing this scene, everyone showed an extremely shocked expression. No one dared to believe that this was real, but it was all real. Lin Feng had only said the 2 words, kneel, and a large group of geniuses had actually knelt on the ground. It was unbelievable. They didn't even know what was going on. It's pressure. When he said the word kneel, an invisible pressure was released. They couldn't withstand that invisible pressure, so they all knelt on the ground, said Lin Feng. An old man said with a serious expression. Invisible pressure? No way. Why didn't I feel any pressure? Logically speaking, if he released his pressure, even if it wasn't directed at us, we should still be able to feel it. Could it be that I'm the only one who didn't feel it? Can you all sense this pressure? Immediately, a cultivator asked doubtfully. I didn't feel it either. I didn't feel it either. I didn't feel it either. One by one, the cultivators who were watching the show said. None of them felt this invisible pressure. The old man said. It's precisely because we didn't feel it that this person is terrifying. This means that this person has perfect control over his pressure. His pressure is only targeted at the geniuses. Others won't be able to feel it. After hearing the old man's words, everyone couldn't help but suck in a breath of cold air. Wasn't this too awesome? How terrifying was his control to be able to control his pressure so perfectly? It was simply unimaginable. It was simply shocking. The group of geniuses who were kneeling on the ground also came back to their senses. Their expressions became incomparably ugly. It was a great humiliation to kneel on the ground in front of so many people. These geniuses were existences who could do whatever they wanted in Tianshui City. When had they ever been humiliated like this? However, when they thought about how terrifying Lin Feng was, they didn't dare to say a word. Lin Feng was really too powerful. He was so powerful that it made their hearts tremble. They really couldn't understand how a lowly son-in-law like Qin Mubai could be so powerful. How did he get to know such an awesome person like Lin Feng? If they had known that Lin Feng was so terrifying, even if they were beaten to death, they wouldn't have participated in this matter. It's your turn. Are you going to kneel on your own, or do you want me to make you kneel? Lin Feng said to Sun Yunxiang. Chapter 51-46. Sun Yunxiang's expression became unsettled. His identity was different from those ordinary geniuses. He was a direct descendant of the Sun family. The Sun family was one of the top families in the Tianshui city. Even the Shui family did not dare to underestimate the Sun family's strength. If a top young master like him were to kneel on the ground, then he would really be finished. The family would definitely give up on him. I am from the Sun family, Sun Yunxiang said in a deep voice. He brought out the Sun family. He wanted to use the Sun family's reputation to intimidate Lin Feng. But Lin Feng was really not familiar with the Sun family. Lin Feng's enemy was the Celestial Emperor, the Crown Prince, Di Wudao, and the Heavenly Court. What was the Sun family? Not to mention the Sun family. Even the powerful and unfathomable Shui family was nothing in Lin Feng's eyes. Is the Sun family very powerful? Lin Feng asked. The corner of Sun Yunxiang's mouth twitched violently. He used the Sun family to intimidate Lin Feng, but Lin Feng did not know if the Sun family was powerful or not. It was as if he had punched cotton. The Sun family has a golden immortal level expert. A cultivator who was watching the show reminded him. Oh. Lin Feng nodded. Then he continued. Hurry up and kneel down, my patience is limited. Seeing that Lin Feng was still so domineering, many people felt that their heads couldn't turn. Didn't that cultivator just remind this guy that the Sun family had a golden immortal level expert? Why did this guy? It was as if he didn't hear it. Could it be, did this guy really not put the Sun family's experts in his eyes? That was a golden immortal. Brat, don't think that you can be impudent here just because you have some ability. Tianshui City is not a place for you to be impudent, Sun Yunxiang said coldly. You talk too much. Lin Feng couldn't help but say speechlessly. Kneel down. His voice suddenly turned cold. When Lin Feng's voice fell, Lin Feng's body suddenly emitted a terrifying pressure. That terrifying pressure directly enveloped Sun Yunxiang. Sun Yunxiang is at the heavenly immortal stage. Additionally, he possesses great talent and is capable of challenging cultivators at a higher level. It is said that he is capable of fighting against cultivators at the starry immortal stage for tens of rounds without losing. That young master wants to use his aura to suppress Sun Yunxiang? A cultivator said. That's right. I've underestimated Sun Yunxiang. I'm afraid that he'll only embarrass himself later. Another cultivator said. Brat, you think too highly of yourself. I was just about to see what you're capable of. Sun Yunxiang looked coldly at Lin Feng. He was about to rush towards Lin Feng. Then, he fought Lin Feng. But at this time, Lin Feng's body emitted a terrifying pressure that suppressed Sun Yunxiang. Sun Yunxiang was unable to resist. There was a thump. He immediately knelt on the ground. This is impossible! Sun Yunxiang was unable to accept this and shouted in disbelief. The surrounding cultivators who were watching the show were all extremely shocked. An expert like Sun Yunxiang, surprisingly, he couldn't resist Lin Feng's oppressive strength. Everyone's hearts seemed to be in a state of shock. You, who are you? Shui Yunxin looked at Lin Feng in horror. Lin Feng was simply too powerful. She was scared out of her wits. Beside her, Qin Mubai also had an expression of disbelief. Wasn't Lin Feng too strong? Back then, when he was in the Sky Martial continent, he was a top genius while Lin Feng was just a cultivator who had just revealed his talent. He was not even qualified. Now, how many years had it been? He was just a small character that he had left far behind in the past. He actually needed to look up to him now. Qin Mubai couldn't help but smile bitterly. He didn't know what Lin Feng had experienced all these years to become so powerful. Lin Feng didn't care about Shui Yinxin at all. A slut. Was she qualified to talk to him? Lin Feng looked at Sun Yinxiang and the others who were kneeling on the ground, and said, "Aren't you guys very awesome? Do you think that with some strength and the support of some mediocre forces, you can do whatever you want? Isn't reality a slap to your face?" Hearing Lin Feng's address of the forces behind Sun Yinxiang and the others, many people couldn't help but smile bitterly. Those forces were not weak. To think that they were a mediocre force in Lin Feng's eyes. Perhaps, that young master really had the qualifications to say that. "We were wrong, let us go." Some, heaven's prides, began to beg for mercy. But there were also some who remained silent with gloomy faces. "Call Qin Mubai your ancestor, and I'll let you go," Lin Feng said with a smile. "Damn, he's really a devil." Many people couldn't help but mutter. Lin Feng's methods were simply too despicable. If they shouted like that, how would they be able to live in the future? Back to the clan. They would probably be severely punished by the clan. Qin Mubai couldn't help but smile bitterly. He really admired Lin Feng's methods of dealing with people. Ordinary people wouldn't be able to think of such a despicable move. This little brother actually didn't hesitate to offend so many people from great powers for his friends. He's really too handsome. I really want to get to know this little brother. Yeah, this little brother is really too domineering. He's too manly. I really want to give birth to his children. Some young female cultivators muttered softly, looking at Lin Feng with eyes full of admiration. Some beautiful women looked at Lin Feng with even bolder and fiery gazes. Lin Feng. Young, handsome, powerful, domineering. He was really a woman's dream. Lin Feng said indifferently. "What? You're not willing to call me that? Since that's the case, I'll cripple your limbs first." Hearing that Lin Feng was going to cripple their limbs, many people were so scared that their faces turned pale. They believed Lin Feng's words. After all, Lin Feng was really too powerful. These powerful cultivators naturally didn't care too much when they did things. Often they were existences who kept their word. If their limbs were crippled, they would be crippled. In the world of cultivators where strength was respected, once a person became a cripple, they would live a life worse than death. "Don't cripple us, we'll shout, we'll shout." Some geniuses couldn't hold it in any more and hurriedly shouted. "Qin Mubai is our ancestor. Qin Mubai is our ancestor. Qin Mubai is our ancestor." The geniuses began to shout loudly. Some cultivators who heard that there was a commotion here came over and saw a group of geniuses kneeling on the ground and shouting that Qin Mubai was their ancestor. Those cultivators were dumbfounded. Wasn't Qin Mubai a son-in-law who had been cuckolded for many years and was bullied by everyone? In front of these geniuses, Qin Mubai's status was even lower than that of a servant. Now, this group of geniuses, why were they all calling Qin Mubai their ancestor? This caused everyone to be extremely astonished. Many people were even more puzzled. They didn't know why those cultivators were kneeling on the ground and calling Qin Mubai their ancestor. Chapter 51-47. What happened? Some of the cultivators asked aloud. They had just arrived. They didn't know much about what had happened here. When the cultivators heard what had happened, they were immediately shocked. Many of them looked at Lin Feng, trying to guess who Lin Feng was. Daring to humiliate the cultivators of the Shui clan, Sun clan, and other forces in Tianshui City could no longer be described as audacious. Therefore, many people were curious about Lin Feng. Only a ferocious dragon could cross a river. Lin Feng was definitely a terrifying cultivator. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been so audacious. Besides, Lin Feng had only shown a small part of his strength. He hadn't shown his real strength yet. Regarding this point, everyone firmly believed without a doubt. Young man, do you know what you are doing by humiliating them like this? You should leave a way out for others, otherwise you will bring trouble upon yourself. At this time, a voice suddenly came out of thin air. Clearly, there was an expert secretly threatening Lin Feng. Lin Feng said indifferently, I think these clans should be thanking me. After all, I am teaching these guys how to behave. In this world, there is always someone better than you, so it's better not to be so arrogant. It's fine if you meet me, because I don't like to kill people. If you provoke other experts, these people might have already been beheaded, and in the end, they might even implicate the clans behind them. The voice sounded again. You said they were arrogant, but aren't you arrogant? You are all just the pot calling the kettle black. Lin Feng said. I'm happy to be arrogant. If you have the ability, come out and hit me. After hearing Lin Feng's answer, many people couldn't help but laugh bitterly. In the eyes of the surrounding cultivators, Lin Feng was really a shameless guy. However, if they thought about it carefully, Lin Feng's arrogance was completely different from Sun Yunxiang's arrogance. First of all, Sun Yunxiang and the others took the initiative to bully and humiliate others, but these guys were not strong enough and were instead trampled under others' feet. Secondly, Lin Feng's arrogance was because he wanted to help his friend, so he launched a counterattack. Lin Feng was the kind of person who didn't take the initiative to provoke others, but he would absolutely not swallow the insult when he was bullied. Not only would he not swallow this insult, he might even return it to the other party tenfold. Besides, furthermore, Lin Feng possessed an unfathomable cultivation base. It was not something that Sun Yunxiang could compare to. Sun Yunxiang and the others were indeed powerful. But in front of Lin Feng, they were no different from ants. In this world. After all, this was a world where the strong ruled. If one wasn't strong enough, one should keep a low profile. Don't act tough all the time, and don't think too highly of yourself. As for those experts who acted pretentious and arrogant, because he had the ability to do so. Not convinced? Sure. You can go up and trample them under your feet, or you can act cool. If he didn't have the ability, he could only hold it in. Lin Feng was currently in the situation of, I'm arrogant, I'm happy, I'm happy, I'm happy. You have to hold it in even if you're not convinced. The expert hidden in the dark said coldly. Junior, I originally didn't want to make a move on you because of my status, but if you're stubborn, don't blame me for being impolite. Lin Feng said. Don't hold it in. If you want to make a move, then hurry up and do it. My time is limited, I don't have that much time to waste here with you. Lin Feng's attitude was still as arrogant as before. He didn't put the other party in his eyes at all. Many people guessed that the expert hidden in the dark should be a true immortal realm expert. How terrifying was such an expert? How high was his status? Naturally, it wouldn't be easy for him to make a move. Everyone felt that Lin Feng should be able to guess the other party's identity, but Lin Feng still looked down on the other party. This was what made everyone feel the most inconceivable. Of course, Lin Feng had indeed displayed extraordinary strength before, and many people felt that Lin Feng was very likely to have the strength to compete with a true immortal. However, having the strength to compete with a true immortal and not putting a true immortal realm expert in his eyes were two different concepts. Junior, today, I will teach you a good lesson on behalf of your elders. I won't kill you, but I will cripple one of your arms to teach you a lesson. The expert hidden in the dark said coldly. After he finished speaking, the void trembled slightly, and a cultivator walked out of the void. This cultivator was a skinny old man with a gloomy and terrifying gaze. After seeing this person, many people sucked in a breath of cold air. Sun Tianwei, it's actually him. This person is the hidden expert of the Sun family, a cultivator said. So he's Sun Tianwei. He's an incomparably terrifying existence. It's said that he already has 1 foot in the Tao immortal realm. If he takes action, how can that young master fight against him? They're probably not on the same level at all. Then, another cultivator said. With Sun Tianwei's reputation, everyone naturally thought highly of him. In addition to this reason, there was another reason. The main reason was that Lin Feng was simply too young. At such a young age, even though he was the son of the sage emperor, it was already very heaven-defying for him to have the strength of a virtual immortal. Sun Tianhui had 1 foot in the Tao immortal realm. In addition, he was an expert with a strong foundation and had been in the Tao immortal realm for countless years. Although he had not stepped into the Tao immortal realm, he already had the strength to fight against some Tao immortal realm cultivators. Therefore, Lin Feng was naturally nothing in front of Sun Tianhui. After seeing Sun Tianhui, Sun Yinxiang immediately shouted, "Ancestor, save me!" At this moment, Sun Yinxiang's eyes were blood red. He had suffered such a great humiliation today. It made Sun Yinxiang go crazy with hatred. Now, finally, there was hope for revenge. He didn't believe that Lin Feng had the strength to deal with Sun Tianhui. In fact, it wasn't just Sun Yinxiang who didn't believe that Lin Feng had the strength to deal with Sun Tianhui. Basically, no one thought so. Even Qin Mubai. He was also worried for Lin Feng. "Wait a moment. After I deal with this brat, I will naturally return your freedom," Sun Tianhui said. As soon as he finished speaking, Yi Zichen's voice fell. He walked towards Lin Feng step by step. Sun Tianhui's body emitted an extremely powerful pressure. That pressure. It was suffocating. Many of the spectating cultivators couldn't withstand that terrifying pressure and had no choice but to quickly retreat. The pressure emitted from Sun Tianhui's body directly suppressed Lin Feng. Chapter 5148. Sun Tianhui's strength is too strong. Even the pressure emanating from his body is so terrifying. That kid won't be defeated by Sun Tianhui's pressure, right? Some cultivators cried out in alarm. That's really possible. Many cultivators chimed in. I don't think so. Although Sun Tianhui is strong now, he hasn't broken through to the Tao immortal realm. That young master of the human race has the strength of a virtual immortal. Although he might not be a match for Sun Tianhui, the gap between them shouldn't be too big. Therefore, in my opinion, it's unrealistic for Sun Tianhui to defeat that young master of the human race with his pressure. At this moment, another cultivator spoke up. This cultivator's words also gained the approval of many people. At this moment, the powerful pressure emanating from Sun Tianhui's body suppressed Lin Feng's body. However, Lin Feng seemed to be fine. After seeing this scene, some of the cultivators who thought highly of Lin Feng immediately said, "This young master of the human race is indeed extraordinary. He's completely fine." The cultivators who thought that Sun Tianhui could defeat Lin Feng with his powerful pressure were shocked. They realized that they seemed to have underestimated Lin Feng. How could Lin Feng, who possessed such terrifying strength at such a young age, be a simple character? Presumably, he must have many extraordinary methods. Of course, even if Lin Feng had many extraordinary methods, in their opinion, it would still be extremely difficult for him to fight against Sun Tianhui. However, these people didn't continue to speak. They were all silently observing the development of the situation. "Ignorant fool!" Yi Futian sneered. Lin Feng said indifferently. "What did you say?" Sun Tianhui thought that he had heard wrong. The cultivators who were watching the show were also stunned. Because of those words. It was really too humiliating. And Lin Feng was humiliating a powerful existence like Sun Tianhui. This was completely shedding all pretense of cordiality. Sun Tianhui had just said that he would cripple one of Lin Feng's arms. But now, it wouldn't be as simple as crippling one of Lin Feng's arms. It was very likely that he would crush Lin Feng's bones and scatter his ashes. "Don't you understand human language?" Lin Feng looked at Sun Tianhui mockingly. Qin Mubai, who was at the side, had a bitter smile on his face. Lin Feng really didn't put Sun Tianhui in his eyes. But Sun Tianhui was so powerful. Was it really okay to not put Sun Tianhui in his eyes? An arrogant army was defeated. Qin Mubai's heart couldn't help but feel very uneasy. "Preposterous! I've seen many. But this is the first time I've seen someone as arrogant as you. But this is the first I've seen such an arrogant person's is. This is the first. ATS. Sun Tianwei looked at Lin Feng indifferently and walked towards him step by step. Obviously, he wanted to kill Lin Feng. Lin Feng sneered and said, "Are you king idiot? You're about to cripple one of my arms, do you think I should kneel down and lick your boots? I don't know if your brain has been kicked by a donkey, but you can still say such ignorant, shameless, and stupid words. Brat, go to hell." Sun Tianwei was enraged by Lin Feng's words, and sent a palm strike towards Lin Feng. Everyone held their breaths at this moment. Everyone wanted to see how Lin Feng would deal with Sun Tianyue's attack. At this moment, Lin Feng moved. Lin Feng's speed was too fast. Like an afterimage, he instantly arrived beside Sun Tianwei. Even Sun Tianyue's palm strike was unable to touch Lin Feng. Then, Lin Feng slapped Sun Tianwei. Pa! The sound of a loud slap was heard. Lin Feng's slap ruthlessly landed on Sun Tianyue's face. Sun Tianyue's face. Instantly it swelled up. Sun Tianyue's eyes couldn't help but turn blood red. He, a dignified true immortal expert, was actually slapped in the face in front of so many people. This was to him. Naturally, it was a great humiliation. The rest of the people's eyes couldn't help but widen. Everyone had a look of disbelief on their faces. Sun Tianwei. He was actually slapped by that young human cultivator. That young human cultivator's speed was simply too fast. So, everybody didn't even know how Lin Feng had attacked. "I'm going to kill you." Sun Tianwei roared in anger. He punched towards Lin Feng, but Lin Feng was one step ahead. Bang! Accompanied by the sound of a violent collision, Lin Feng's punch ruthlessly landed on Sun Tianyue's abdomen. That tyrannical punch directly sent Sun Tianwei flying. Sun Tianyue's entire body was sent flying. Wah! In midair, Sun Tianwei couldn't help but spit out a mouthful of blood. His face turned as white as a sheet. Plop! Sun Tianwei fell directly to the ground. He tried his best to get up, but then he fell to the ground and fainted. He knocked Sun Tianwei out with a single punch. Isn't that too savage? Exclamations of shock rang out. Everyone was shocked. The battle strength that Lin Feng displayed could be described as heaven-defying. No matter who it was, they would feel as if they were in a dream. When Sun Yunxiang and the rest saw this scene, they were completely dumbfounded. It was only now that they realized how terrifying Lin Feng was. Right now, the group of people looked at Lin Feng as if they were looking at a demon. Brother Lin you. Qin Mubai also became incoherent. Lin Feng's strength deeply shocked his heart, so much so that Qin Mubai's mind went blank. Lin Feng said, "Brother Qin, let's go." Qin Mubai hurriedly nodded and rushed out with Lin Feng. The surrounding area had long been surrounded by people that not even a drop of water could trickle through. But when they saw Lin Feng and Qin Mubai walking over, they hurriedly opened a path for them. They didn't dare to stop Lin Feng and Qin Mubai. After they walked out of the crowd, Qin Mubai said, "The Sun family has a golden immortal expert overseeing it. Let's leave together." Lin Feng said, "It's fine. Even a golden immortal can't do anything to me." Qin Mubai couldn't help but sigh. The current Lin Feng was too strong, wasn't he? Now, he believed whatever Lin Feng said. Lin Feng said, "Do you plan to leave by yourself, or do you plan to take that woman with you?" Qin Mubai said, "I'll take her with me." Qin Mubai's choice made Lin Feng feel rather gratified. Before leaving, Qin Mubai wanted to take that ordinary woman with him. This was enough to show that Qin Mubai's character was quite good. Chapter 51-49. Lin Feng followed Qin Mubai to the leisure gathering house. Lin Feng was waiting for Qin Mubai outside. Qin Mubai went in to talk to the woman about this matter. Lin Feng did not know how the cultivators of the Shui family, the Sun family, and the other forces would deal with this matter. But no matter how they dealt with it, Lin Feng had his own countermeasures. Why would he be afraid of them? Not long after, Qin Mubai and the woman walked out together. The restaurant itself was rented and operated. The property that did not belong to Qin Mubai and the others would be due in a few months. So, he did not want the rent for those few months either. Lin Feng brought them out of Tianshui City. Go to Sin Realm and say that you are my friend. I will take good care of you there, Lin Feng said as he looked at Qin Mubai. Sin Realm. You are really that person from Sin Realm? Qin Mubai looked at Lin Feng in shock. Who didn't know the name of the Sinner's Blood Emperor? The weight of this name was immeasurable. The reason why this name was so important was because, it was not only because the Sinner's Blood Emperor was powerful. There were many powerful young geniuses. But no one's reputation could be compared to the Sinner's Blood Emperor. Why was that? Because, the Sinner's Blood Emperor was the leader of all the Sinner's Blood Emperors. There were many experts under the Sinner's Blood Emperor, and those experts had joined forces because of the Sinner's Blood Emperor, forming a powerful force that even the Heavenly Court did not dare to underestimate. This was the deterrence and cohesion of the Sinner's Blood Emperor. And now, when Qin Mubai found out that his old friend was actually the famous Sinner's Blood Emperor, his heart was naturally filled with shock. Lin Feng said, Even if I am that person, we are still friends. Take her and leave quickly. Qin Mubai nodded heavily. To have a friend like Lin Feng, it was truly something to be proud of. Qin Mubai even wanted to shout out loud. However, he restrained the impulse in his heart. Qin Mubai said, You have to be careful too. I will, Lin Feng said. Qin Mubai and the woman left together. Lin Feng watched them leave and then went back to Celestial Water City. Lin Feng found a rather high-end inn in Tianshui City and rented a courtyard. Then, he lay on the bed to rest. While drinking with Qin Mubai, Lin Feng had already learned about the auction from Qin Mubai. There was still half a month before the auction. Therefore, he still needed to wait here for a while. Lin Feng's mind was now filled with the crescent moon grass, snow dragon grass, and the shadow of the pure clean water. He hoped that everything would go smoothly, and then quickly wake up Ling Zishi, this big beauty. That night, Lin Feng slept exceptionally soundly, and no one came to disturb him. However, in the morning, some cultivators came to Lin Feng's courtyard one after another. They were all cultivators from the major forces of Sky Water City. The arrival of these cultivators attracted the attention of many people. Many cultivators were watching from afar. They were puzzled. They didn't know what was going on for so many cultivators from great powers to come. Not long after, 3 cultivators came together. These 3 cultivators were all white-haired old men. Their auras were deep and powerful. With a single glance, one could tell that they were extremely terrifying cultivators. It's the patriarchs of the Shui clan, Sun clan, and Wu clan. Someone recognized the identity of the 3 cultivators. The 3 of them came from 3 top forces. They were all experts with a strong foundation. However, no one knew exactly what they were called. Generally speaking, these ancestor-level experts would not easily interfere in the affairs of the outside world. Now that the 3 great ancestor-level powerhouses had come together, it was quite a rare thing. What exactly happened? The cultivators from the great powers of Tianshui City have all arrived, and there are even 3 ancestor-level experts? Some of the cultivators who were watching the show said in confusion. The situation in front of him, it was indeed very shocking. It also filled people's hearts with doubt. I'm not sure. Many cultivators shook their heads. They didn't know what was going on either. Today's matter was indeed very strange. Those cultivators. He decided to wait and see. Very soon, the 3 ancestor-level experts arrived outside Lin Feng's courtyard. Greetings, Ancestor. The cultivators from the great powers all bowed to the 3 ancestor-level experts. The 3 ancestor-level experts nodded. The cultivators then stood up. The 3 ancestor-level experts whispered to each other for a while. Then, the Shui clan's ancestor said, Fellow Taoist, I took the liberty to come here. I wonder if we can talk face to face? Seeing the Shui clan's ancestor being so courteous, the cultivators who were watching the show couldn't help but reveal shocked expressions. Originally, everyone thought that so many people had come. They definitely didn't come with good intentions. But the reality was, it didn't seem to be the case. I know who the person living inside is. I saw him enter the courtyard to rest yesterday. At this time, a cultivator said, "Who lives inside?" Then, someone asked impatiently, "Did you hear about what happened last night?" The cultivator didn't answer, but asked instead, "Sir, are you talking about the incident where those geniuses were taught a lesson last night?" Even Sun Tianwei, who tried to suppress that young cultivator, was taught a lesson? Someone asked with a look of uncertainty. The cultivator nodded and said, "The person living inside is the young master who attacked last night." What? It's him? Heavens, he actually didn't leave after getting into such a big mess? One of the cultivators said in disbelief. Logically speaking, Lin Feng, who had gotten into such a big mess, should have left. That was human nature. But not only did Lin Feng not leave, he even stayed in Tianshui City. It was truly puzzling. Who knows what this guy is thinking? Maybe it's because he has enough confidence in himself? Someone then said. But some of the top powers in Tianshui City have golden immortals overseeing them. This person is indeed powerful, but can he really defeat a golden immortal? Someone voiced out the doubts in their hearts. I don't know. I wonder what the three patriarchs will do next. But judging from their attitude, it doesn't seem like they're here to cause trouble. It's truly puzzling. Those great powers suffered such a big loss, yet they're here to negotiate? A cultivator said, feeling puzzled. Just as everyone was discussing animatedly, the door to the courtyard opened by itself. Next, Lin Feng's voice rang out from the courtyard. Come in. Chapter 5150. Lin Feng was waiting for them in the living room. When the three of them entered the living room and saw Lin Feng, they couldn't help but be stunned. Lin Feng was really too young. They had a feeling that they couldn't put into words. They were once as young as Lin Feng, but things had changed with the passage of time. Now they were old and weak. Although they were all experts with a strong foundation, if they didn't have a great opportunity, it would be impossible for them to change their fate. It was also very difficult to defy the heavens and change one's fate. This was something they were very clear about. Therefore, when they saw that Lin Feng was so young and so strong, they couldn't help but feel jealous. However, they didn't express their feelings. They were all sly old foxes, so they knew how to maintain their reputation. Please have a seat, Lin Feng said. Thank you. The three of them cupped their fists and said. They then sat down. Lin Feng said, Why are you three here today? We are here because of yesterday's matter. Yesterday's disciples offended you in any way, please forgive us. The ancestor of the Shui clan said. Lin Feng couldn't help but frown. This was different from what he had imagined. Lin Feng had always thought that these people wouldn't let the matter rest, but now, they were actually so humble. This really surprised Lin Feng. There was definitely something fishy going on. Lin Feng naturally understood this logic. Therefore, Lin Feng felt that this matter wasn't simple, and there might be something fishy going on. Of course, Lin Feng didn't expose them. He wanted to see what they were up to. Lin Feng said, I didn't take yesterday's matter to heart. Thank you for your magnanimity, young master. This is a small token from us, please accept it. The ancestor of the Shui clan stood up and handed a storage ring to Lin Feng. Lin Feng's divine sense entered the ring, and he found that there were 1 billion immortal stones inside. 1 billion immortal stones was nothing to Lin Feng. But when it came to actual numbers, 1 billion immortal stones. To any other force, this was a considerable amount of wealth. These powers had taken out 1 billion immortal stones to apologize to him, and they seemed to be rather sincere. Lin Feng accepted the 1 billion immortal stones. He then said, What happened before is over, you don't need to take it to heart. However, in the future, when you educate the disciples of the clan, You should restrain their behavior so that they don't get into trouble. It wouldn't be good if the power behind them was involved. You're right, sir. Once we return, we'll definitely restrain our disciples, the three ancestors said in unison. Lin Feng looked at the patriarch in the lead. Needless to say, Lin Feng also knew that this person was the patriarch of the Shui clan. This was because the Shui clan was the biggest power in the Sky Water City. The leader of the group. Naturally, it was the old ancestor of the Shui clan. Lin Feng asked. I've heard that the Shui clan has a long history and is good at collecting treasures. Does the Shui clan have any news about snow dragon grass and crescent moon grass? Snow dragon grass and crescent moon grass are both extremely rare heavenly treasures. They can only survive under extremely harsh conditions, so they are extremely rare. However, I remember that there is a snow dragon grass in the ancestral lands of the Shui clan. I don't have any impression of the crescent moon grass. If young master isn't in a hurry to leave, I can send someone to the ancestral lands to retrieve the snow dragon grass. At the same time, I can help young master inquire about the crescent moon grass. Lin Feng was overjoyed when he heard this. If he could obtain the snow dragon grass from the Shui clan, then the only thing left to collect was the crescent moon grass. Perhaps the Shui clan could help him find the crescent moon grass? Lin Feng said. Thank you, fellow Taoist. You're too polite, sir. The old ancestor of the Shui clan laughed. However, this smile of his seemed to contain a deeper meaning. An hour later, the three ancestors left. You may leave, the old ancestor of the Shui clan said. The cultivators from the large factions and those who had come to watch the show didn't dare to linger and quickly left. However, many people were still talking about the fact that the three great ancestors had come together. In a short period of time, this matter became a hot topic of discussion. The three ancestors returned to the Shui clan. In the main hall, the old ancestor of the Sun clan said, We've temporarily stabilized Lin Feng. Once Crown Prince Di Wudao arrives, we'll have done a great service. Ha ha! Indeed, the Crown Prince Di Wudao, after capturing that little boy, he'll force Lin Beitian to come out. Once Lin Beitian comes out, he'll kill him and we'll all benefit from it. The old ancestor of the Wu clan couldn't help but laugh. These people had already found out Lin Feng's identity, and had even informed Di Wudao. During this time, Di Wudao had indeed been searching for Lin Feng's whereabouts. Some time ago, Di Wudao had passed by Tianshui City because of some matters. It was said that the Mirror of Future seemed to have seen some scenes of the future. The Mirror of Future told Di Wudao, one day in the future, Lin Feng would appear in Tianshui City. And that day shouldn't be too far away from now. After hearing the Mirror of Future's words, Di Wudao roped in several of the top factions in Tianshui City. When Lin Feng had appeared, he had told him to come. Now that the three ancestors had found out Lin Feng's identity, they immediately informed Di Wudao and tried to stabilize Lin Feng. Except for Di Wudao, the three ancestors also sent the news back to the ancestral land. The three of them were all high-level Dao immortals. Although they were strong, they weren't eternal immortals. Their strength hadn't reached the level where they could pierce through heaven and earth. This time, they sent the news back to the ancestral land in the hope that the golden immortals in the ancestral land would come. If Di Wudao hadn't come and Lin Feng wanted to leave, they could ask the golden immortals to deal with Lin Feng. If Di Wudao hadn't come, if Lin Feng hadn't left, then their golden immortals wouldn't have to do anything. Although they had joined Di Wudao, if they didn't have to personally deal with the Sinner's Blood Emperor, they would try their best not to personally deal with the Sinner's Blood Emperor. After all, the power behind the Sinner's Blood Emperor Lin Feng was extremely terrifying. They were worried that the power behind Lin Feng would take revenge. What we need to do now is try to stabilize Lin Feng. We can't let him leave Tianshui City no matter what. When the Golden Immortals or the Crown Prince arrive, we can completely relax. When that time comes, Lin Feng won't be able to leave Tianshui City even if he wants to. Wonderful, wonderful. The Sun and Wu ancestors couldn't help but praise. It was as though they could see Lin Feng becoming Di Wudao's prisoner. The two ancestors couldn't help but smile coldly. Chapter 51-51. Inside the room, Lin Feng was sitting cross-legged, silently adjusting his breathing. Great Immortal Sacred Martin said, "I think we should leave. The other party clearly has another goal. You have to understand the principle of seeking fortune and avoiding calamity. Cultivators in the world of cultivators must know how to seek fortune and avoid calamity. Otherwise, you'll probably die a miserable death." Lin Feng rolled his eyes and said, "Can't you say something nice? Are you cursing me?" Sacred Martin immediately said, "I'm not cursing you, I'm just reminding you. I hope you can understand this principle and don't be too stubborn. Sometimes you have to learn to be flexible." Lin Feng was speechless. Sacred Martin was too cautious, so it would immediately run away when it sensed that something was wrong. Lin Feng could sense that the three ancestors were up to no good, so Sacred Martin could naturally sense it as well, so it couldn't sit still. Lin Feng said, "Don't worry, everything is under my control." Sacred Martin said, "I know that you have a lot of 9 heavenly lightning source pearls now, and you think that you can rely on them to be fearless. However, there are many people in this world who are difficult to predict, and their methods are extremely terrifying. Thus, you have to be careful of them. You can't be careless, especially the cultivators from these great powers. You can't underestimate them." Lin Feng said, "My confidence doesn't come from the 9 heavenly lightning source pearls, but from my own strength. Don't interfere with my business in the future, or I'll smash you to pieces." When the great sage Martin heard Lin Feng's threat, he shrank back in fear. Lin Feng's threat was very effective, so the Martin shut up. Lin Feng spent the next half a month in seclusion. He was waiting for the auction to begin. Lin Feng's goal was the pure clean aqua. As for the other items, Lin Feng didn't care. Of course, if he saw something useful to him, Lin Feng would also bid for it. The promotion of the auction was very effective. Many cultivators came for this auction. Lin Feng also came to the auction. The huge auction that could accommodate 300,000 cultivators was simply packed to the brim. Everyone was excitedly discussing the auction. Not long after, the cultivator in charge of the auction walked out. There were 2 cultivators presiding over the auction. One was a middle-aged man, and the other was a beautiful woman. The 2 introduced themselves. The middle-aged man was called Zhang Sun Wuhan. The beautiful woman was called Sikong Qinwan. Under their auspices, the auction items were brought out one by one. Among them, there was no lack of extremely precious items. There were even some top-grade immortal artifacts, bronze artifacts, stone artifacts, and other supreme treasures. So many supreme treasures were naturally very attractive to cultivators. Therefore, the competition in the auction was very fierce. In order to compete for some treasures, many people raised the price of the treasures to an extremely high level. Lin Feng had not participated in the competition. He did not lack all kinds of treasures here, but there were basically no treasures that could really interest Lin Feng. After about 100 auction items were auctioned, a servant came up with a tray. On the tray was a porcelain bottle. The beauty said, "Everyone, the supreme treasure in this porcelain bottle is the legendary dustless clean aqua. I believe everyone has heard of dustless clean aqua. It comes from the heavenly realm and can cleanse a cultivator's body and even their soul. In addition, dustless clean aqua is the main material for refining many top-grade immortal pills. The preciousness of dustless clean aqua is not only because of its powerful effect, but also because of its rarity. Because dustless clean aqua is too rare, dustless clean aqua has always been a priceless item. Now, this bottle of dustless clean aqua has a base price of 30 million immortal stones. Each bid must not be lower than 1 million immortal stones." After the beautiful woman's voice faded away, there was a brief silence in the auction. The base price of 30 million was indeed an extremely high price. One had to know that the price of an ordinary immortal artifact was only about 30 million. However, the base price of dustless clean aqua had already reached 30 million. Who knew how high the final price would be? Of course, this kind of item was a luxury item for countless people. Naturally, they could not afford it. However, for cultivators who needed it, It was worth it no matter how high the price was. 100 million. After a brief silence, someone called out a price. The other party was obviously not short of money. He raised the price to 100 million. This made many people feel very amazed. 120 million. Then, someone quoted a new price. 130 million. Someone called out a new price. 140 million. 170 million. More and more people joined in the bidding. It seemed that there were many cultivators who were interested in dustless clean aqua. These cultivators were basically cultivators from top-grade factions. Rogue cultivators. It was very difficult to have such powerful financial resources. However, those cultivators from top-grade factions were different. There was a powerful force behind them. They could mobilize large amounts of money. When competing for these treasures, they were full of confidence. The price of dustless clean aqua soared, and it did not take long for it to exceed 1 billion. It had already increased by more than 30 times. According to the previous auctions, the final price would increase by more than 30 times. However, dustless clean aqua was different. Firstly, it was because dustless clean aqua came from the heavenly realm. It was rare and extremely precious. Secondly, dustless clean aqua was useful for many cultivators, especially for cleansing the body and soul. It was highly valued by many top-grade experts of the major factions. Therefore, those cultivators from the major factions were still constantly raising the price of dustless clean aqua. The price of dustless clean aqua was still soaring. It did not take long for it to reach an astonishing 2 billion. Although this price had already scared off many people. However, there were still some people who continued to compete for dustless clean aqua. 10 billion! At this moment, a voice suddenly resounded in the auction. Someone actually raised the price to 10 billion. After hearing this price, the corners of the cultivators who were still bidding could not help but twitch slightly. Chapter 51-52. Everyone looked at the cultivator who made the bid. Then, they realized that it was a young cultivator. Who is this person? Many people were puzzled. How could such a young cultivator take out 10 billion immortal stones? Was this a joke? It's him. However, some cultivators recognized Lin Feng. They were present when Lin Feng taught the group of geniuses and Sun Tianhua a lesson. Later, they heard that even the ancestors of the Shui clan, Sun clan, and Wu clan went to negotiate with the young cultivator. This matter caused a huge uproar. Many people guessed Lin Feng's identity. He's the young master who had a conflict with the Shui clan, Sun clan, and the others. A cultivator said. What? He's that person? Many people were shocked. Although they didn't know Lin Feng's true identity, they had heard a lot about Lin Feng. Therefore, when they found out that the person who made the bid was Lin Feng, who had a conflict with the Shui clan, Sun clan, and the others, many people felt relieved. Such a person, being able to take out 10 billion immortal stones, was naturally not too surprising. It was obvious. Everyone knew that this young master of the human race was determined to get the dustless clean water. Otherwise, he wouldn't have bid such a high price. I originally estimated that the highest price of the dustless clean water would be around 4 to 5 billion, but I didn't expect this young master to raise the price to 10 billion. In this case, I think the other factions will be scared away. The price of the dustless clean water should be fixed at 10 billion. At this time, a cultivator said. I think that's about the price. Another cultivator said. There was no dispute about this price. This young master has bid 10 billion. Is there anyone who wants to go higher? The beautiful woman asked excitedly. With such a high price, her commission was also high. Naturally, she was overjoyed. This kind of joy. It was completely displayed on her face. The crowd was filled with people complaining. However, no one continued to bid. Even the factions who had been eyeing the dustless clean water covetously did not continue to bid. Although they also had the financial resources to compete with Lin Feng. However, it was clear that if they were to fight for it, when the time comes. The price was definitely far more than 1 million. This was far beyond their budget. Once the cost of pure clean water was too high. As for their other targets, they might not be able to capture them. Although pure clean water was rare, it was not a necessity. Therefore, those powers. In the end, he gave up. 10 billion going once! 10 billion going twice! 10 billion going thrice! Deal! After the beautiful woman's voice faded away. The dustless clean water was won by Lin Feng. Lin Feng's lips curled into a smile. Pure clean water, snow dragon grass, and crescent moon grass. The 3 heavenly treasures that could cure Ling Zixi poison. Lin Feng had already collected the first type. On the other hand, Lin Feng already had news of the snow dragon grass. He wondered if the Shui clan had already brought the snow dragon grass from the ancestral land. Should he go to the Shui clan and ask? Lin Feng was no longer interested in the rest of the auction. He directly left the auction. Someone brought Lin Feng to the VIP lounge. Not long after, the head of the auction house came to the VIP box. This person was a quasi-true immortal ranker, and his strength was not ordinary. Furthermore, he was a cultivator from the Shui clan. Young master, this is the pure clean water. Please check it carefully. If there are no problems, we can proceed with the transaction, the head of the auction house said. Lin Feng nodded. He opened the porcelain bottle and checked it. There was no problem with the pure clean water. Generally speaking, there were basically no problems with the items that were auctioned off at the various auction houses. If they dared to play tricks behind the scenes, the reputation of the auction house was completely ruined. Even the reputation of the family behind them and the power behind them was completely ruined. These great powers valued their reputation extremely, so they naturally wouldn't do such a thing as lifting a rock and smashing it on their own feet. No problem, Lin Feng said. With a wave of his hand, a ball of energy flew out. Within that ball of energy, there were many rivers of immortal stones sealed. There were a total of 100 rivers of immortal stones. Each river of immortal stones was formed by 100 million immortal stones. The 100 rivers of immortal stones added together were 10 billion immortal stones. The head of the auction house kept the immortal stones. Lin Feng kept the pure clean water. Then, Lin Feng left the auction house. Lin Feng didn't return to his residence directly. Instead, he headed in the direction of the Shui clan's residence. Not long after, Lin Feng arrived at the Shui clan's residence. The Shui clan's residence was naturally heavily guarded. Lin Feng was stopped outside. I'm looking for the Shui clan's ancestor, Lin Feng said. F***CK. Who the F***CK are you? Do you know where this place is? A guard said coldly. The guard commander recognized Lin Feng's identity and was instantly shocked. The guard commander kicked the guard, causing him to fall to the ground. F***CK, you don't even recognize Lin Gongzi? Do you believe that I won't gouge your eyes out? The guard commander cursed loudly. This guard commander had seen Lin Feng when he was fighting with the group of geniuses earlier. However, he was hiding in the crowd. He didn't dare to come out. Now that he saw Lin Feng, this killing god, he naturally didn't dare to be careless. The guard was so scared that his entire body trembled. His face was pale as he kowtowed to Lin Feng to apologize. Spare him, Lin Feng said. Yes. Please follow me, young master, the guard commander hurriedly said. He led the way in front. The other guard ran in to deliver the letter in advance. The guard commander brought Lin Feng to a drawing room where a servant girl served tea. Lin Feng waited quietly. Not long after, the patriarch of the Shui clan arrived at the drawing room. When he saw Lin Feng, he smiled. The old ancestor of the Shui family smiled and said, I'm sorry for making you wait. Lin Feng replied, There's no need to be so courteous. Both the host and the guest were seated. Lin Feng went straight to the point. It's like this. Have the cultivators who went to the ancestral grounds returned? The patriarch replied, They haven't returned yet. However, from the information we received, they should be back in a few days. So, young master, please wait patiently for a few more days. Lin Feng nodded and said, All right, when they come back, please inform me as soon as possible. No problem. The patriarch nodded. Then I'll take my leave. Lin Feng stood up. I'll send you off, young master, said the ancestor of the Shui clan, sending Lin Feng off. He looked at Lin Feng's departing figure and revealed a sinister expression. Kid, I'll let you live freely for a few more days. Soon you'll become a pitiful prisoner. Chapter 51-53. Lin Feng returned to his residence. The Demon Lord said, Looks like we'll have to be more careful in the next few days. Yes. Lin Feng nodded. There were many things that he could see clearly, but Lin Feng didn't say much. He just didn't want to talk about it. The next few days were very important for Lin Feng. Lin Feng wanted to come up with some countermeasures. Countermeasures to deal with all kinds of dangers. 7 days later, someone from the Shui clan informed Lin Feng that the cultivators from the Shui clan who were heading to the ancestral land had arrived in Tianshui City. Furthermore, they brought the snow dragon grass that Lin Feng needed. Now, Lin Feng could head to the Shui clan. After receiving the news, Lin Feng didn't stay any longer and headed straight to the Shui clan. When Lin Feng arrived at the Shui clan, he felt a special atmosphere. This atmosphere was completely different from the last time he came to the Shui clan. This time, the atmosphere was different. It seemed to carry a kind of austere aura. Perhaps something was about to happen. Lin Feng remained expressionless. The guard commander still brought Lin Feng to the hall from before. Lin Feng waited in the hall for a while before the Shui clan's ancestor arrived. Together with the Shui clan ancestor was a middle-aged cultivator. This middle-aged cultivator had a medium build and a square face. He looked righteous, but Lin Feng could feel a cold intent from him. Golden Immortal. This middle-aged man was actually a Golden Immortal expert. It seemed like he was a Golden Immortal expert from the Shui clan. However, the Shui clan's ancestor didn't introduce this middle-aged man to Lin Feng. He smiled and said, I'm really sorry for making you wait. Lin Feng said, Dao friend, please don't be so polite. Did you bring the snow dragon grass? The Shui clan's ancestor said. The snow dragon grass has been brought, and is currently in the treasury. However, it's placed in a special treasure. Only by opening the treasure's restrictions can the snow dragon grass be taken out. How about this? You can stay in the Shui clan for a while. Once the restrictions are opened, we'll immediately take out the snow dragon grass and give it to you. After hearing the Shui clan's ancestor's words, Lin Feng sneered in his heart. At the beginning, Lin Feng did believe that the snow dragon grass was in the Shui clan's ancestral land. However, after thinking about it carefully, he felt that there was something fishy about this matter. He felt that the Shui clan's ancestor was stalling for time and wanted him to stay in Tianshui City. Lin Feng was only guessing before, but now that he saw the Golden Immortal expert beside the Shui clan's ancestor, he was sure that the Shui clan's ancestor was just stalling for time. In fact, the snow dragon grass was placed in the Shui clan's treasury and not in their ancestral land. What puzzled Lin Feng was that since the Shui clan's Golden Immortal expert had already arrived, why hadn't the Shui clan's people made a move yet? Lin Feng couldn't understand why the Shui clan's ancestor was stalling for time. However, since the Shui clan's ancestor was doing this, he must have his own reasons. Lin Feng didn't plan on wasting time here. He had already thought of a way to deal with the Shui clan's Golden Immortal expert. If they were to fight head-on, even 10 of Lin Feng wouldn't be a match for a Golden Immortal expert. However, Lin Feng had many 9 heaven godly source pearls. These pearls could play a crucial role. Of course, Lin Feng didn't show his inner emotions on his face. These old foxes were good at hiding their true thoughts. Lin Feng had been in the world for many years and had experienced countless schemes. He was no longer the same as before. Lin Feng also knew how to hide his emotions and thoughts. Lin Feng said, No problem, I'll stay here then. All right, I'll send someone to arrange young master's residence. The Shui clan's ancestor smiled. In his heart, he actually looked down on Lin Feng. Although Lin Feng's cultivation was very strong, and he was also a sinner's blood emperor, he was still an emperor. The old ancestor of the Shui clan was naturally pleased with himself. He looked at the golden immortal expert. Although the old ancestor of the Shui clan was much older than the golden immortal expert, his strength and status in the clan were far inferior to the golden immortal expert. The golden immortal expert's lips curled into a smile, as though he was using this method to praise the Shui clan's ancestor. Lin Feng stood up and said, "There's no need to find someone else to bring me to my residence. Why don't I let Dao Friend's follower bring me there?" Hearing how Lin Feng addressed the golden immortal expert, the Shui clan's ancestor's mouth couldn't help but twitch violently. He couldn't help but cough dryly. He didn't dare to order this golden immortal expert. The world of cultivators was a world where the strong were respected, not a world where age was respected. Only the strong ordered the weak to do things, and not the old ordered the young to do things. However, at this moment, the middle-aged man said, "All right, I'll bring Lin Gongzi to rest." "All right," the Shui clan's ancestor said. "Lin Gongzi, this way please," the middle-aged man said. "Thank you for leading the way," Lin Feng said with a meaningful smile. "Lin Gongzi, you're welcome," the middle-aged man said with a smile. "What's your name?" Lin Feng asked on the way. "Shui Ziwen," the middle-aged man said. "That's a rather elegant name, it matches your temperament," Lin Feng said. "You flatter me, sir. I'm just a burr, I don't deserve such praise," the middle-aged man said. "Of course. I feel that you're not an ordinary person. Could you be a direct descendant of the Shui clan's ancestor?" Lin Feng asked. The middle-aged man shook his head. "Of course not. Our bloodline with the ancestor is already quite thin. The Shui clan's ancestor seems to be a cultivator from a side branch, right? Could it be that you're a direct descendant?" Lin Feng continued asking. The middle-aged man said with a faint smile, "Cultivators from the side branches live in Tianshui City, while those from the direct bloodline live in the ancestral land. I'm currently living in Tianshui City, so do you think I'm a side branch or a direct descendant?" Lin Feng said. "So there's such a thing. I wasn't clear about it before. The big clans have always been clear about this," the middle-aged man said. Lin Feng nodded and sighed. "Yes, the big clans are indeed more meticulous in many aspects." Just like that, Lin Feng kept chatting with the middle-aged man along the way. His main goal was to lower the middle-aged man's vigilance through conversation. After all, it was extremely difficult to deal with a golden immortal. Therefore, Lin Feng had to be fully prepared and try his best to make every detail perfect. Chapter 51-54. Not long after, the middle-aged man brought Lin Feng to Lin Feng's residence. It was surrounded by lush green lawns. There were also ponds, rockery, stone bridges, and other things scattered around. The environment of this place was really quite good. This was Lin Feng's residence. "Go in and see if you're satisfied. If you're not satisfied, I'll take you to other places to take a look," the middle-aged man said. Lin Feng nodded. He then entered the courtyard. There was also a hot spring pool in the courtyard. The hot spring in the pool was bubbling. There was a layer of mist lingering above the hot spring. It was like immortal mist, beautiful and magnificent. There were also some strange flowers and herbs planted in the courtyard, and the entire courtyard emitted a strange fragrance. It smelled. It was very comfortable. His mind seemed to have become much clearer. "The fragrance here can actually refresh one's mind," Lin Feng said in surprise. The middle-aged man smiled and said, "There's a kind of spirit grass called the spirit-gathering grass. It can refresh one's mind and is also good for cultivation." Lin Feng sighed in admiration. "No wonder they're from a big clan. I've never seen or heard of such things." Lin Feng looked like Granny Lu had walked into a big manor. He looked very ignorant. "Country bumpkin," The middle-aged man couldn't help but despise Lin Feng in his heart. Although Lin Feng's identity was extraordinary and his strength was not ordinary. However, in the middle-aged man's opinion, Lin Feng was just a cultivator from the secular world. Such a cultivator naturally didn't have much experience, and Lin Feng's performance was basically as he had guessed. So, the middle-aged man was full of contempt for Lin Feng. Although he despised Lin Feng in his heart, he did not show it on his face. He smiled and said, "Actually, these are all ordinary things. Young master's cultivation is powerful, so whatever you want, it's easy to get." Lin Feng said, "Let's forget about it. Luxuries can easily make people indulge in enjoyment. If that's the case, the heart of cultivation will be mixed with other things. Perhaps I won't be able to fully focus on cultivation anymore." The middle-aged man said, "Sir, you're quite insightful. No wonder your cultivation is so powerful at such a young age. There aren't many people with such insight, especially at your age. You should be enjoying life, but you've chosen to cultivate like an ascetic monk." Lin Feng replied, "It's far from the path of an ascetic monk. When it's time to relax, I'll relax as well." The middle-aged man asked, "Young master, how do you relax?" Lin Feng replied, "Women." "Ha ha!" The middle-aged cultivator laughed and said, "This is indeed a good way to relax. Which man doesn't love beautiful women? When I was young, I liked beautiful women. Even though I'm no longer young, whenever I see a beautiful woman, I always want to take her for myself." When he heard the middle-aged cultivator's words, Lin Feng immediately cursed him in his heart. He hadn't expected that he would be able to trick this guy into revealing his dirty thoughts. This guy was indeed a sanctimonious person. Lin Feng said, "Why don't we arrange something for tonight?" The middle-aged cultivator looked down on Lin Feng in his heart. However, he still smiled and said, "Of course, that's not a problem. May I know what kind of women you like?" "I like all kinds of women." "Sir, you know what I mean, right?" Lin Feng said. The middle-aged cultivator was speechless. In truth, the Shui clan had nurtured many beautiful female cultivators who could win people's hearts. Most large clans would nurture such beautiful female cultivators. However, Lin Feng had actually brought up a request like, all kinds of women. He was really greedy. However, the middle-aged cultivator still nodded and said, "I guarantee that you'll be satisfied." Lin Feng said, "Thank you, brother." "Ha ha ha ha, you're really a good person. Now, bring me inside to have a look." The middle-aged cultivator nodded and led the way into the room. Lin Feng followed behind him. The middle-aged cultivator was still looking down on Lin Feng. At the same time, he was also wondering if this guy was really the Sinner's Blood Emperor, Lin Feng. He didn't look like someone who could accomplish great things. It could be said that the middle-aged cultivator was currently at his lowest state of vigilance. Lin Feng's lips curled into a sneer as he took out 300 heavenly lightning source pearls. The moment he took out the heavenly lightning source pearls, Lin Feng immediately retreated. When the middle-aged cultivator sensed the heavenly lightning source pearls that Lin Feng had taken out, he was stunned for a moment. Then, his expression suddenly changed. He had already regained his senses. It turned out that Lin Feng had been talking to him for so long. He had actually been trying to distract him. Moreover, he had actually been tricked by Lin Feng. This caused the middle-aged cultivator to be incomparably furious. A powerful figure like him had actually been tricked by Lin Feng. It was simply too infuriating. Of course, the middle-aged cultivator was powerful enough. After all, he was a golden immortal realm expert. To himself. Naturally, he was incomparably confident. So, even if he had been tricked by Lin Feng, he was still confident that he could neutralize Lin Feng's attack. The middle-aged cultivator hurriedly took out a huge light shield. The defensive power of that defensive light shield was extremely tyrannical. That defensive light shield completely enveloped the middle-aged cultivator. Boom! Then, at this moment, an earth-shattering sound rang out. The 300 heavenly lightning source pearls that Lin Feng had taken out all exploded. The explosion of the 300 heavenly lightning source pearls produced a destructive force. The entire courtyard was instantly destroyed, and the middle-aged cultivator was completely submerged by the destructive force produced by the explosion of the 300 heavenly lightning source pearls. Lin Feng stood in the air, looking down at the completely destroyed courtyard. I wonder if the 300 heavenly lightning source pearls would be able to kill this golden immortal realm expert. In Lin Feng's heart. Actually, he wasn't sure. What happened? The Shui clan members in the distance were also alarmed. Just now, the earth shook. They wanted to not be alarmed. It was impossible. The Shui clan members quickly rushed towards the direction of the explosion. Ah! An angry and painful roar came from the center of the explosion. Then, the middle-aged cultivator rushed out from inside. His left arm and right leg had been blown away. Half of his body had been blown apart. Some intestines. They were even flowing out. But even so, he still didn't die. A golden immortal realm expert wouldn't die so easily. Heavens, how could this be? When the Shui clan cultivators who were rushing over saw that the Shui clan's golden immortal realm expert was actually injured so heavily, their expressions changed greatly. They couldn't believe what they were seeing. Little bastard, I'll take your dog life. The Shui clan's golden immortal realm expert roared in anger, sending a palm strike towards Lin Feng. You're tuning into the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.